All right. You know how these work, right?
Have you done a podcast?
You know how microphones work?
Is this the microphone?
Yes.
What is
Yeah.
You're talking the wrong end.
It's the cord.
Oh, dang it. Such a doofus.
You're supposed to cut the mic.
That's what all the rappers do on TV.
Right. Yeah. I saw that on MTV. I saw that on BET the other day.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready, dude.
You ready?
I'm so ready. I've been looking for this for a while now.
Oh, Lord. Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I am Martel, and with me always is Randy. What up, Randy?
I am excited today.
I am stoked today.
Yeah, we are in the Kilns Tavern, my home studio kind of thing.
Your little basement bar.
Yeah, I got my work desk here where I work from home, when I get to work from home. My Buckeye gear, like I love it here. I'm going to change the lighting. The lighting down here is terrible.
Oh, it's great.
It's like moonlight.
But yeah, it matches the wood paneled walls.
That 70s decor.
Yeah, when we moved in, the landlord's like, I don't like those walls, but I ain't going to change them. You can do it if you want. And I went, nah, dude, I'm renting off of you. Like, I'm going to roll with wood panel walls. It's fine. Yeah. But yeah, we're here, and we have a special guest.
We do. That other voice you hear is Damac.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
What's going on?
Got that deep voice.
Listen to that voice.
People are going to hear his voice and just tone us out altogether. Like, these guys suck.
Damn.
Yeah, so Damac and I met, 5 or 7 it's been a minute.
It's been like 7 years, bro.
I was working youth camps and churches, and he came by, I think it was Winter Retreat where we first met.
Winter Retreat, man.
Yeah, many
Snow
years.
everywhere.
Snow, which you love.
Yeah,
now,
my
this
favorite.
is, you two are on par with that. He's with you with the snow. He's not a snowbird.
You hate snow?
I hate snow.
He hates
I hate
cold.
Snow. If it gets below like 60 degrees,
I forgot to mention that.
I'm out.
So I've got him on Facebook, both his personal and his Damac page, and I love watching him travel, because this is what this man does: is travel for a living and rap. And every time he gets to a cold state in the winter, dude, it's like you.
Oh yeah,
it's like you, but with more soul.
Yeah, well, anybody can have more soul than I do.
Yeah, so we got Damac here with us. We haven't scheduled anything. We haven't scripted anything. We're going to let him talk about some things. And when we first talked about it, man, you were putting out some posts on Facebook, just sharing your heart, and that got me. I didn't respond a bunch there because
he was too busy posting memes every 32 seconds.
Which I appreciate. I love those memes.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that told me, like, hey, him, dude, Jason Genetti, like, I don't care what Martel or anybody else says. I love his memes.
You don't like his
I unfollowed Randy for 2 years because of that.
He really did.
Like, and then I ended up unfollowing like everybody except for 6 people.
Oh,
and now you're back.
And now I'm following everybody but one person.
Do you appreciate the memes now, though?
I just roll by them. I don't really post on Facebook that often, though. Like, for me,
yeah. You've only done a couple of your archery.
That all comes from Instagram, though. Like, all of my Instagram stuff goes to Facebook.
Okay.
So I use Instagram more than I use Facebook. But occasionally, lately, I've been posting some ridiculous stuff. Like, I'm considering moving to San Antonio.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Or Austin. It was Austin.
Austin. Okay.
And people were like, oh, you should. I'm like, you guys, come on. I'm not moving. I can't move to Austin. My wife would kill me. She would be here.
Yeah, she said she ain't leaving. Martel hates the cold, so it's
I got to wait till 2021 or 2031. That's when I'm allowed to move. That's when my kids graduate.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we're gonna roll in our normal show. If you're a regular listener of ours, welcome back. We're gonna do a sample here in a minute. We have Angel's Envy Rye that we covered on Flights of the Round Table.
Yeah.
But we're going to do it neat here after it's oxidized a bit. And this here, Martel's looking at a very bulging can.
That looks like it got dropped off the Empire State Building and survived.
Well, what happened, there's 4 of these. These are, it says a new era in college football. These were when the Ohio State Buckeyes won the national championship trophy.
What year was that?
So this was 2014.
Oh, Lord.
And I've got 3 more on my shelf with all my Buckeye gear there. What happened was Judd, with all his 1-year-old strength, picked this up. And Hulk Smash chucked it across the room at me.
Yes.
Nice.
For Daddy to catch. And it didn't make it to me. So I said, well, I didn't want to open them because it's probably gross. So we're going to see if we can even get to open because the top's kind of mangled.
I'm sure.
Oh,
here it goes. And there's a Dr. You know what? And there's a Dr. Pepper shortage right now, too.
For real?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see it?
This is the
And there's a buddy of mine works at Pepsi said there's actually going to be a can shortage.
Well, there's already a can
Seriously.
shortage because the craft beer industry is taking a hit from it.
All right, I'm going to have to move my mic, so I might make mic noises here.
Whatever. Well, while you're doing that, tell us a little about yourself, Damac. Like,
I am a hip hop artist. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, Midwest. I grew up in the Nelly era when dudes had, Band-Aids under their eyes.
And during Nelly's era, I really wanted to be like Nelly.
Right?
you were shaking your tail feather.
When that album dropped, here's the thing. And our normal listeners know, if you're the maniac that happened to catch this,
All 10 of you.
all 10 of you, we've doubled our listeners. But we had one black girl in our youth group.
Oh, yeah.
She's the one that brought the Nelly album. It was one of my good friends, Tiffany. Loved that girl. She went to school with my cousin, so we all get my Tercel with my 212s. And I put that album in, and it changed my world. That was like the album for the year. It didn't come out on my CD player. Dude,
I might actually have that album. I have to check my CD box.
Dude.
It probably is. He has a box in his studio at home, and I look down, and it's like Usher, Casey and JoJo,
Bro,
all
like-
90s rap
We're
hip
like
hop.
brothers, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we
I mean,
had the same binder with the CDs. You know?
So I've got a box
Wow.
of like old, Casey and JoJo,
Yeah, man.
Nelly, Wu-Tang Clan.
All bangers, bro.
Oh, just
All
like
bangers.
I grew up, I legitimately grew up like in Steubenville. So when I learned to drive,
Yeah.
I was going to Steubenville every day, and Steubenville is ghetto.
Okay, gotcha.
It is ghetto as hell. And so that's where I hung out. Like me and my buddy Bub, Randy met Bub.
Yep.
That's all we listened to was
Hey.
just West Coast rap,
Yeah.
East Coast rap, gangster rap.
Yeah.
However you want to. That just looks.
Huh.
That's Randy pouring Dr. Pepper into a glass.
I'm surprised it's still fizzy and carbonated.
That's what surprised me.
Yeah.
Because it actually, when I opened it, it did the whole
I'm scared.
Yeah. So Martel had no idea.
It just went flat.
Yeah. It's not beer, Martel. It doesn't keep ahead.
But yeah, I listened to like all that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I started, so the other day I'm like, all right, well, I have not listened to any of your music.
Okay, right.
So I actually got on Spotify. I'm like, there he is. So I started listening. You don't rap about there's no gangbanging, there's no gunfire, there's no smacking bitches, there's none of
You
that
did not
stuff.
mention a single gold chain, much less two
Right.
chains.
I know.
I mean, come on. There was no
Yeah.
there was no drug talk.
Yeah, I'm basically a Disney Channel rapper. Basically.
No, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing I like about that music. I love a lot of your beats, and
appreciate that.
the thing is, I got out of rap like mid 2010 ish. I haven't listened since because it just became all the same crap.
Sure.
It's well, yeah. Now
It's all about me, my ego. I'm awesome because I drive fast cars and I got women, and there's no sustenance.
Right.
My favorite is mumble rap.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's where it peaked.
Yeah,
I only listen to old, like my Spotify playlist now when it comes to rapper, like 90s hip hop, 90s West Coast,
I feel that. Yeah.
Biggie.
Yeah.
I would say once you
Tupac.
get like out of Dre, and Eminem was the last one for me that wrote about something.
Lyrical
Like
wizard.
when M wrote and writes, he has something to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else, and shame on Machine Gun Kelly for trying to battle that guy. Did you see that, Martel?
Was that a battle?
I've
Did that-
seen some of it.
It was a slaughter. Don't call out, like, you don't go up to a Navy SEAL and try and fight him. Like, it's just, I don't care how bad you think you are because you beat up everybody in your high school.
Yeah.
But for me, like a lot of the rappers in the hip hop, I used to listen to WNCI, top 40 a lot back in the day.
Yeah.
And it just got so empty to me. I was sitting there driving one day. I'm like, none of these songs are saying anything.
Right.
And one of the songs that did say something, they were kind of bashing it because it was real slow and real, which granted for a morning drive, it's kind of a boring song. And I forget it now, but, I was like, but man, there's some meaning behind it.
Yeah.
And so like when I listen to you rap, I can at least go, hey, he's rapping about something that means something to him.
Oh wow, man.
No, but it's for real. You're not just talking about driving a Lamborghini.
Because I can't. I have no experience with it.
It's like, he's like, well, let me try it, and then we'll see what I rap about.
You can rent them. I mean, they're not that expensive to
A
rent.
couple $100, man. You can rent one for a day.
Quit playing with my emotions. Are you for real?
Dude,
Yeah.
you travel, look it up. Look up exotic car rentals.
Next
you
time you're
travel
out in
everywhere.
Vegas, you can rent one for
Seriously.
$500 for the day.
Yeah, I'm going to Google it right now.
Yo, let's.
I think
need the
I'm
facts,
almost certain.
You know.
So, I'm going to go back to this Dr. Pepper real quick.
Yeah, you hit this 6-year-old.
I noticed you did not give one to D.
Oh, how rude of me. Here you go, Matt.
I mean,
man.
he got upset because I told him
I'll
there
just
was a
drink from
Dr.
the-
Pepper shortage.
I'll drink from the can and probably cut my lip, which would make for great radio.
I'm gonna wait a couple minutes to see the effects it has on y'all first.
I might turn green with purple spots.
That's one of those. And we've done some episodes where we did things called buckhorn bites. Like I brought in Oreos and salsa because I saw a
That made
meme on
me
it.
sick.
It literally, it turned his stomach.
It made me ill all day.
Last Halloween, one of our most popular episodes,
Yeah.
my kids got candy and I was eating the Skittles because they don't like Skittles.
Okay.
And one packet was gray. And I was like, that's weird.
Gray Skittle.
It said zombie Skittles, so I read the package and it's like, hey, this may be a normal Skittle or it may taste like rotting zombie flesh. So I saved it for us to do in the air.
Ugh.
And it did, dude. I've never eaten a zombie.
It made him sicker than it made me, but
It did not
was-
disappoint.
It
No.
did not- it tasted like rotting meat.
So every once
Like
in a while,
what rotting meat smells
Yeah,
like. That's
yeah.
what it tastes like.
it was rancid, dude.
It was bad.
But
It was
it's,
bad.
you know, you eating Skittles, right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it gets stuck in your teeth.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, those zombie ones do too. So
Oh,
so
you just have
eggs out.
rotten flesh just stuck in your teeth.
Well, the best part is you're sitting there and you're talking, and then all of a sudden, just like it's like 10 minutes later,
comes back around.
it pops out of your tooth, and you taste it.
Ugh.
It is
the gift that
awful.
won't stop giving.
It is so bad, so bad.
So go ahead, Martel. Why don't you take a sip of this?
I already gave it the sniff test, and it smells like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it does. I'm actually surprised.
I mean,
it smells like
it
a Dr.
smells
Pepper.
like dusty Dr. Pepper.
Like I wish I would have had it in the
Dusty
fridge so it was
Dr.
cold.
Pepper.
You know that dust smell.
What are you thinking?
It's not good.
Okay.
I'll say no big reaction, so not as bad as I
No,
thought.
it legitimately is flat at this point. So it's lost all of
That's
its
weird.
fizz.
That's weird that when I opened it, it had a little of the.
Well,
psh.
it's a sealed can, so it's going to
And,
keep
yeah,
the
it had-
carbonation. And when you poured it, it had a little bit, but it's gone. Like there is no carbonation left in this.
just drinking
You're
Dr.
drinking
Pepper syrup.
basically just watered down syrup.
Ooh.
And the taste is kind of flat as well. Like it's not like flat soda, like weak.
Ooh.
Gotta give it a try.
Man, I mean, after that pitch, how could I turn it down at this point?
It just kind of tastes like flat Dr. Pepper. It doesn't
Yeah.
taste bad.
It doesn't taste bad.
I'm actually surprised how good it tastes. Like I might drink the rest of this can,
6
and I don't
years
drink
old.
pop.
It aged kind of well.
it's.
It's not that bad.
I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to lie.
I don't expect you to.
Like,
it's not like I'm gonna be mad. These cans were given to me even, so I didn't even pay for
mean,
these.
Oh, okay. It's
It's
a win-win.
It's kind of it's like dusty.
I was kind of hoping it would taste rancid because we get a better reaction that way, and people like hearing either one of us get sick or
Like
angry.
almost dying.
It's not good.
No, it's not great.
It's not great.
So once you rinse that down, and we'll go into the Angel's Envy before we.
I ain't drinking that.
No. I mean, clear your palate out. Sorry.
You
I
said
didn't
what?
I didn't mean you had to drink the Dr. Pepper.
I thought you meant
Clear your palate. Go ahead and pour you and I a little bit of the Angel's Envy rye here, and we'll get on with it. I'm looking at the car rentals.
I have a story. I have a small story for you too regarding opening another man's whiskey.
Ooh, man!
I'm
Exotic
intrigued.
car rentals are up a little. $800 for 4 hours.
For 4 hours?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh wait, you can rent a Lamborghini Hurricane for $500 for 4 hours, or $900 for 8 hours.
That's not bad.
huh. Yeah.
I mean, considering the fact that some of these
Right.
are $250,000 cars.
right. I thought it was going to be way more than that.
No, and there's actually car services out there. I think one's called Silver,
There's
which
one
is
Turo.
Okay.
Turo. I think is more of like an Airbnb style,
Oh, okay.
where you loan your car out to other people through the app, and you get paid for loaning your car out.
Fascinating.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Huh.
So there's,
Okay.
but there's another service out there called Silver, and all they rent are silver Audis. So you
Huh.
can get an A4, S4,
Nice.
S8,
Whatever.
R8. They're all silver.
Who do you have to talk to rent out the Batmobile?
His name's Casey Puick.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
I was just being
got one.
He
silly.
lives here in Ohio.
He's got
What?
one.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Ohio. Actually, my buddy Justin, who's up at Pickups Plus Cars in Lewis Center, just north of Columbus.
Quit playing.
He's taken vehicles to them and done videos at their shop.
Wow, I thought I was just trying to be funny.
You just
man. Now this had my mind blown.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, so hold on. I got it right here. I'm scrolling through his Instagram feed right now.
Is it more than a Lambo, though, to rent? That's the question.
You know what?
There you go. There it is.
If you told him,
It's the Batmobile.
you need to get in contact with this guy. Tell him that you know somebody who knows somebody who knows him.
It's the Michael Keaton Batmobile.
Yeah.
And
It's
say, I want to
good
put
one.
this in a video.
Dude.
Maybe you just get in a video for free and, hey, might as well drive it while you got it, right? You got to
Might
drive
as
it in the
well.
video.
Bro.
Next rap video,
So-
dude.
so this-
right here in Columbus, Ohio.
That would be...
That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet.
So this guy, my understanding is he's like some crazy multimillionaire.
Oh,
I don't know
so
what he's
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, except he doesn't dress up like a bat.
Okay, there's that.
Yeah.
But he
no.
runs it's like a nonprofit called the Genius Garage, and it's for kids,
Oh, wow.
like teenagers, and they understand, they don't understand, they learn engineering,
Okay.
and he's actually building a car, or this group of kids is building a car that can. Oh, what is it? It's stupid fast, like it's ridiculous fast, and gets 100 miles a gallon.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's what he's basically doing with these kids. Is he's teaching them engineering, and they're building this race car.
Wow.
So he got 75 miles to the gallon on the first time out on this car. It's called the Omega car.
That would
Nice.
change the Indy Tour life forever.
Yeah,
Imagine how much money you would save.
Right?
You're driving a daggone bus pulling a trailer.
So here's what the car looks like. It's white. It looks kind of like the Mach 3 from
Yeah.
Speed Racer.
It looks sick, too.
Yeah,
Yo.
and he's shooting for 100 miles a gallon out of this thing.
that would be a
nuts.
game changer.
So I did find through Turo, you can rent things like an S4. That is sweet. That does look like
it's-
the
Yeah,
Sick.
looks like the Mach 3 from
Mach 5.
or Mach 5. Sorry,
Was it yeah. I can't remember. Rob would yell at me if he heard. But you can rent like a Audi S4 here for $86 a day.
Oh.
BMW M4 for $134 a day.
That's it?
But the coolest one to me is the Tesla Model S's. They're going for $80 to $99 a day.
Wow.
And those Teslas, man,
have to be recharged.
they do. Yes,
Sit in the Walmart parking lot in that little station.
right.
Shoot the video from there.
There you go. That would be hilarious if you did a whole video. Like, you see all these rappers always racing and driving stuff. The whole Tesla one's just there because it's got to be plugged in. Like, somebody goes to unplug it and you're like, oh, leave it in longer. It ain't done yet.
It ain't done. It ain't ready.
But yeah, those Teslas are fun. I'm surprised how cheap they are.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
But and keep in mind though, Toro, like I said, I think Toro is like an Airbnb style where it's actually it's their personal car.
Right
It
on.
could be. I just
and
Googled.
You're renting it out. I know there's a place in Chicago because I looked at it when Liz and I were for our wedding. I was going to try to get a Ferrari
Nice.
for our wedding.
Nice.
They wanted $5,000 for the weekend,
Okay.
and I had to drive up and get it.
My entire wedding cost that, I think, and that's including site, dress, rings, everything. Like, we were like 3 to 5 total.
I wish my entire wedding cost that.
Well, that's a you problem.
No, that was a Liz problem. I didn't.
I am lucky because Beth was like, I don't want a big wedding. We got married at a state park, Alley Park outside Lancaster, old covered bridge, have a huge lodge overlooking the lake, so the reception's there. We paid
That's
$250
awesome.
for the whole day.
Dude, that's awesome.
Her dress she found was like $300 brand new.
Yeah, that's so much.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
I think Liz's dress was the cost of the entire wedding. Just
Quit playing with my emotions, for real.
my wife wanted like a traditional,
Okay.
like full traditional wedding.
Yeah.
So you better watch it.
250 people,
Okay.
like in the church. I'm just like,
Martel's kind of guy. It's like courthouse.
I'm like, why can't we just take all that money that your family has given us
Yeah.
And run away.
fly them down to like some island somewhere,
Yeah.
do a beach wedding,
Yeah.
and just that's it. Like we
feel
just
that.
get the
Yeah.
people there that matter, and that's all we need.
Just a few people.
Yeah.
And we'll take 2 weeks, and we'll stay down for a week. Everybody can come down for a week, or we'll stay for 2 weeks. Everybody can come down for a week, and that'll be it. And she's like,
Nah.
Not happening.
that is not what I want. You know how many people in my family have been mad at me? I'm like,
Who cares?
like, the whole wedding, like all the guests are everybody from your family. Like,
Right.
man, I got 10 people coming from my family, and the other 240 are yours.
Wow. I feel that.
I don't talk to anybody in my family.
Okay, I understand.
True
So-
story.
I understand.
except your dead mom who steals stuff from your house.
I don't know if y'all joking or if this
Oh
is like
no,
real talk.
no.
His mom's really dead, but so every time...
both my parents have passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Oh no, it's cool.
It's okay. We make fun of them.
Yeah,
Goodness.
and I pay for it later.
What kind of podcast is this?
It's the Bookworm Podcast.
Welcome to the show.
You've not heard a playfully racist thing said yet.
Jesus, we do not need to start talking about DJ and JJ.
Yeah.
So my mom passed away like 16 years ago. My dad passed away 13 years ago.
Oh wow, I'm sorry, bro.
But my mom was always a prankster. Like she was always playing jokes on people. The shit didn't stop.
Yeah.
Like it legitimately didn't stop when she passed away. Like things, they just come up missing in the house. I'm looking for a bracelet right now that I can't find.
Seriously.
One of my malas. And I cannot find it anywhere. I have asked. I'm like, because my kids will take stuff out of my room. Like, did you girls grab one of my bracelets? Like, no, Daddy, I didn't. I'm like, I find out you're lying to me.
Which I don't know why either. I know both your girls. I don't know why they'd lie about that. I'm not saying they couldn't, but
I don't know because Harley.
Of course, Harley could just forgotten.
She just has a tendency to take.
She's
things.
a free spirit.
She is She is a bear. But like right now, like I have an old pair of eyeglasses. They were in their hard case. I don't wear them anymore. It's my old pair. I throw them in the bottom drawer. Well. The case was in the top drawer of one of my of this side table, and then the glasses weren't in the case; they were in another glasses case, like an old 1970s pocket style case with a clip on it.
Okay.
Those glasses were taken out of the case, and my eyeglasses were in this case. So it's just one of those things. I'm like, you girls messing with my glasses?
Interesting.
Do you sleepwalk?
No.
Oh,
and I've been there before when we've gone to do something. You're like, where is this?
I'm like, it's gone. It comes up missing.
Wow.
Like things just come up missing.
Maybe
and
your house is haunted.
That's a brand new house, unless it's an Indian burial
on Indian land that you stole.
I didn't personally steal it. I bought it.
You bought it from the people that stole it.
No, I bought it from a guy in the military who may have bought it from someone who stole it.
But you get taxed by the people who stole it originally. That's why they're mad at you.
I mean,
that's why they're mad at you.
Shit, they didn't say they found bones when they were digging.
Of course they didn't say that. I wouldn't either. I didn't see nothing.
They also
build the house. Put the concrete in there.
They also didn't see the drain tiles they hit, too, that are leaking into my basement.
Jeez.
Assholes.
Yeah, you've had a
struggle
with that
man.
Place.
Dude, my house sucks.
It's a really nice house as far as the house, like the land's beautiful.
The land's beautiful.
Landscaping's amazing.
I got 5 acres of land.
Oh, wow.
It's a nice property.
I built my house 12 years ago.
Nice.
That's fine. The builder sucks.
That's your main problem.
That's the problem. The builder was awful. The builder is absolutely awful. They're the worst. I fought with them for like 4 years after we built the house.
Oh, wow.
Just had to do a partial roof replacement because they didn't do their job.
Jeez, man.
It's been
the struggle
one thing after another.
It's first world problems, man. I can't.
I feel that.
Can't deal with it.
But on a new house, man, like on a new house,
right.
I'd be upset.
I'm a little upset.
House as old as this one is, which we rent here, but stuff's going to happen. I expect it.
Right.
Right.
Like I had to fix the hot water line to the washer just yesterday.
Okay.
I fixed it. No problem.
Yeah.
New house. If I paid for that, I'd be a little more upset.
If I could go kick down the
especially
door
when
and
you
not
found
get arrested,
out,
in your office.
You found out it was done improperly. It's not like stuff aged over time. You found out it wasn't built right.
It was junk from the jump.
Yeah.
So,
man.
So on that note,
make me want to hit somebody.
Let's get you some of this Angel's Envy so you'll calm down a little.
Maybe this might, this could be like the Jim Beam. We just want to fight each other.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Those of you that may be new, welcome to the podcast. Now we're like 20 minutes in or however long. But usually if you hear this show with Damac and you are a supporter of his, like I am,
thanks, brother.
Then we would love having you here. Just know, disclaimer, this is not your family-friendly podcast. This episode has been way more mild already than most any other we've done.
And I'm keeping it pretty clean.
Yeah. This is the most chill Martel's been.
There was one episode called Lowe's Blows. Lowe's the store.
Okay.
Lowe's Blows and
Steal our shows.
Because
we promoted a bunch of other podcasts.
Yeah.
And
So
okay.
I think I dropped an F-bomb 275 times.
Woo! I was like, it was only like 140. It might have been.
No, I don't know.
It was a lot.
One of my buddies said if it was a drinking game, he'd be dead.
Yeah.
Alcohol poisoning.
That is our most downloaded show.
It is. It's one of our most downloaded.
That's what I'm doing wrong, bro.
Yeah,
Right.
It is.
See?
You rapped about the wrong thing.
Guns, drugs,
And
Well, I think what it was.
F-bombs, and smacking women.
I think
You got to keep your stable in check.
that's right. I think that the big problem on that, or the big draw to that, was you were like very passionate about what you're talking about.
And interesting.
And not only that, I think a lot of people could relate, but then everybody else that we mentioned, like, because we mentioned some other businesses too.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, hey, listen to this. And then people start listening. And once they listen, I think they're like, he went on a tirade.
Yeah, it did.
But,
I love it.
yes, we typically will sample a whiskey or bourbon. We just pour a little bit in a glass, taste it, give a review.
Like 1.5 ounces.
Yeah. Honestly,
we're not getting trash
But,
on every show.
And the Mac is not partaking. I will
He's got his
give that
Dr. Pepper
disclaimer.
sitting over
He's
there.
got his Dr. Pepper he hasn't touched.
6-year-old
Six-year-old
Dr. Pepper.
Here we call it aged 6 years.
Oh, okay. Aged.
It's from the vintage line.
Yeah. I mean, if that was a wine, you'd have to pay me for it.
Right.
But we're going to sample this Angel's Envy rye and give a quick review.
Yeah, and like you said, this is one we did on another show that we're trying to kick off called Flights of the Round Table. And it's with the guys from Bourbon Hunters. And we drank this there, but we also had 3 other.
Yeah.
So kind of, it infringed on the flavor.
Yeah, we wanted to come back to this after it had been open a while and taste it
and give
clean.
it a go.
So I love the smell of this.
It smells really good. You want to smell it?
Oh, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
smell. Let's see what we got going on.
It smells.
It doesn't have that rye spiciness.
It is
Yeah.
very sweet.
It's a very sweet smell.
It does have a very sweet smell.
I love the smell of this one.
so this is the Caribbean rum cask.
This may replace Jefferson's Ocean as my.
I think it's going to have to.
I think it
We
is.
were
man.
talking
More
about that the other day at the gym.
about the Jo.
Yeah, Jimmy, Brandon, and Lon, and myself.
Yeah, I'm never going to find a bottle of Voyage 3 again, and I've
Well-
heard nothing.
We may be able to find you a bottle of Voyage 3, but it's going to be in like this gigantic 1 through 20 pack Voyage pack.
Oh,
like
one
the
of
sample
the yeah.
bottles.
Oh,
It's
think
a
about
sample
that.
of all of the voyages.
Yeah, I've seen
supposedly.
the sample packs. I never thought of Voyage 3.
It would have Voyage 3 in there.
This changes everything.
It does. It changes everything. It's all I've heard.
That's been my
about-
top. Like, so our rating system's 1 to 5 donuts, right?
Okay.
in half
So,
increments.
in half increments.
Okay.
And that's my 5. Like, that's my benchmark. That's my go-to. His is different. Other people like Bland's. We're not big on that, but that's kind of been what I measure.
We like Bland's. We don't like the hype around.
We
it.
like it. It's just
okay.
not a 5 to us.
All right.
No,
All right.
it's
And
like
it's
a 2.5.
impossible to get.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go on with this
right.
AE rye.
So this AE rye in Caribbean rum cask is super sweet. Like it has a sweet smell to it. It has
Which rye, if you don't know, rye is usually
It's
more
spicy.
of a spicy, a peppery.
like a black pepper, like a heavy black pepper
Okay.
flavor to it.
Okay.
Wheats are sweeter, and then corn is kind of like in between.
Okay. That makes sense.
In between the two. But this drinks more right off the beginning of the palate, like a wheat, like a very sweet candied wheat, but then finishes with a peppery burn. Mm-hmm. And on the nose, it is, you can pick up the rum. I mean, you smell the rum, like that sweetness of that rum has. And then on the finish, you just have this nice little burn.
Yeah, so what they did, they take the rye whiskey, once it's done, and then it's aged in the charred oak barrels. Then they put it in rum barrels.
Okay.
So it picks up a different flavor than any other whiskey would.
Does it say how long they put it in a rum barrel for?
I haven't found that yet. I've kind of been looking
It's
here.
probably 9 months.
I did say
if I had to
that
guess.
the team that went to find which rum cask to use,
Traveled all over the Caribbean.
they sampled over 100 rums
That's a lot of rums.
And they
in
ended
one
up with-
night.
They ended
No,
up
I'm kidding. To find out the right flavor, but the one they decided on, it was unanimous. It
was
doesn't say how many
Kraken.
was on the team. Kraken?
It was the Kraken.
The Kraken rum?
Yeah.
Kraken rum's not bad. It's
It
a
is
sweet
a-
one.
It's very sweet. It's $17 a bottle because I almost picked one up yesterday.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Let's see. I'm looking at this hag here to see if it says anything. Blah, 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 blah. No, it just talks about the rye. Rye in vintage rum cask.
18 months.
Oh, I was close. I said 9.
Yeah, 18 months finished in Caribbean rum casks.
I said 9 times 2, didn't I?
Yeah. It's an immensely complex whiskey, it says.
It is mentally complex.
Mentally. Yeah, so this is 100 proof, but it doesn't drink like it.
No,
It's very smooth. On the nose, what are you getting?
I already said what I was getting. I already
I
sampled
missed it.
it and gave my whole review on it and everything.
Oh, okay. Well, it says on the nose it should be aromas of citrus, caramel candy, maple sugar, vanilla, oak, hazelnut, spice, and sherry wood.
I don't get all of those.
I don't get all those, but I get the sweetness from the maple sugar and the caramel.
Yeah, I get a little bit of citrus on it.
I don't get much citrus.
But it's not like overwhelmingly citrusy. It's just kind of like, someone took an orange and twisted the rind over top of the glass.
What I like about this is it tastes like I get a little of the oakiness of a whiskey.
Yeah.
But I get the sweetness of the rum. I love it.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
It's very mellow, very mild. This is something now, again, if you're listening, maybe you don't drink, you don't know whiskey. This is one that I would call a sipper. This is something you just pour a little bit. I would maybe even pour this over the rocks. I don't know.
I think we should I think you should chug the rest of that to them.
No. Let's calm down there. Plus,
take it easy.
This is also $100 bottle. So,
I mean, you're at home,
all right.
so.
There's a story behind that.
Okay, I'd love to hear that story.
Well, I knew it was a $100 bottle. They also make one that
You're
is
sometimes here.
convenient. I'll sometimes tell it to you when you're sometimes here right now. They also make one finished in port wine barrels. That's $50, and I've had that before, and it's not bad. I saw this bottle for $50, half price, when I was traveling for work. I was way up north. Grabbed something for somebody else. I had like 2 or 3 things, but this is the only one I bought for me. Rung it all up, paid, didn't even look, left. So the next day, Beth texts me, my wife, and says, did you spend $100 here? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, no. I go to my account and I looked at the receipt and I went, I paid full price for that. I texted it, Martell. I texted like the Bourbon Hunter guys. I was like, dude, guys, I just found this for 50, like half off. I could flip this bottle and make money, And, so it stayed closed for a long time.
Yeah.
And it'll remain here for a long time because it's almost gone.
Yeah. I would definitely pick up a bottle of this. Like, I've been on the lookout for one, and I thought I saw one the other day, and I didn't. It was the port finish.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want the port finish.
The port finish isn't bad. And at $50, it's a
bad.
solid buy, but it's nothing compared to this flavor-wise.
When it comes to Angel's Envy, I'm not a fan of just their straight rye. I don't like it. It's nothing to write home about.
There are better ryes out there.
There's better ryes out there for less money.
Okay.
But this one, if I saw this in the store, I'd easily pick this up for $100.
It's a great.
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Wow.
I just put a little water in
Anything
mine.
above a 2.5 is a buy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, 3. Like for us to give a 4 or higher, it's got to be off the charts.
Yeah,
it's
life changing.
Yeah, it's
really
really close.
This is really close, but I'm going to stick with a 3.5 just because they're probably only running one batch of this.
Ooh, that's good with a little water.
Is it? I'll put some in. They're only going to probably run one batch of this. It's not going to be something that's going to be mass produced. It is $100 a bottle, which is $50 to $60 more than just their standard rye, and it's an availability thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm with you at 3.5. I don't quite want. I don't quite want to give it a 4, but it's daggone close.
It's real close.
This is one of my favorites we've ever sampled. Honestly, I really like it. I like the sweetness of it. I've got a sweet tooth, so yeah.
Oh, same.
This is up there with the ginger infused.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like sweetness, and it's really sweet.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it.
So there's our review.
All right.
For those of you that don't drink whiskey, you learned something today.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I was like, that's fascinating.
I didn't know any of this.
Now, I have another question, Damac.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Are you German?
What?
Are you German?
Not to my knowledge.
You were wearing socks with sandals.
I didn't know where he was going with that because I can't see your feet. I'm on the other side of the desk.
Yeah, I'm rocking the socks with the flops, man. Nobody want to see these toes, bro.
Dude, I got caveman feet, but I'm also about comfort.
It's like a German tourist.
I wore jeans in this T-shirt to church, but when I got home, I was like, jeans off. I wear sandals to church. I'll play barefoot most of the time.
All right,
I would love it if you wore your I Hate People shirt to church.
I did.
Oh, you did that?
That the first time I ever wore it. I've got a shirt. It's got a rainbow with like all these Care Bears around it, and a real like pleasant looking font. It just says "I hate people," and I bought it to wear to church. And I wore it to church the first time I wore it. I was playing on stage.
That's amazing.
And So I wear it, and I leave before my wife gets up. Well, she's watching the live streaming because of the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
So by the time I got off stage, I had a text from her that said, "I can't believe you wore that to church." I was like, "I told you why I was buying it." So here's the funny thing too: our pastor, Pastor Bill Hines, he gets up and gives his sermon, knocks out of the park. He started this whole series on "Would you be my neighbor?" and it's basically how to treat people with everything going on, even on Facebook, like how we should be treating our neighbors, who is our neighbor.
Yeah.
But it's this whole thing. This whole first thing was who's your neighbor? Like, how do you treat your neighbor?
I treat my neighbor like he's a dick.
Yeah. You have a Sour Patch Kid relationship with your neighbor.
I do. I love my neighbor, but man, there are days that I would just like to slap the shit out of him.
You need Jesus.
And a cheeseburger, apparently.
You need Jesus. But yeah, it's funny because after we do 2 services, so in between them, Pastor Bill comes out and he looks at my shirt and he lost it.
Really?
He's rolling. He's like, "Dude, did you know I was preaching on loving your neighbor today?" I said, "No idea." He said, "That's awesome." He just thought it was hilarious. And my dad's like the first one to call me an idiot if I do something dumb. He is like, "Quit being an idiot, quit being a moron."
Sure.
And when he came to the first service. In between, we were talking, and he looked down, he saw it, and he started losing. So I was like, "Good shirt, worth the
Nailed it.
$23, whatever I paid."
And I saw that shirt before you bought it, and I'm like, I want to buy that shirt because Randy likes people. I don't like people. Like
I like my people. I'm cordial with everybody else.
I'm not
until
even
they give me
cordial.
reason not to be.
I'm not even cordial with anybody else. I am so jaded.
Maybe you want to hate your neighbors if you were such a crappy neighbor.
I'm the best neighbor because I don't ask for shit. I don't ask anybody for anything.
No, but you shoot arrows at their house and
I
at their
don't even-
dogs.
I don't
You
even-
shoot arrows at the house like Robin Hood?
No.
No, his neighbor accused him of that.
My neighbor,
really?
what? I'll give you the lowdown of what happened with
Yes, please fill me in on this.
So I've picked up archery. So over the COVIDs, I picked up archery. My dad was into archery at one point. He had a fiberglass stick bow. I got it restrung, and so I've decided to take up archery. So it's only got maybe a 50-pound pool on it.
Not even.
The draw is so light. Like
If it's over 35, I'd be shocked.
it's over. I know it's over 35. It's between 40 and 50 pounds. I'm almost certain. I'd have to have it retested, but I'm almost certain it's over. It's over 40. I think it's like 50, 55.
Okay.
It's somewhere in there. So it's got like this. It's got a really light pull on it. The arrows do not fly far.
Okay.
I mean, you gotta aim high to
full on Robin Hood,
like to get it to go. Like, because I have stood at my deck, and it from my deck to the field is 600 feet, and I have pulled that thing back full draw at a 45-degree angle into the air.
Jeez.
And it has only gone maybe 150 feet.
Okay, got you.
So it's not. It is not powerful. I can't hunt. I could hunt with it, but I would have to be within like 2.5 feet.
Close range.
And I might as well just stab the deer in the back.
Say that time, choke him out, man.
Yeah, just put him in a leg lock or something, arm bar, hoof bar.
Hoof bar? I
I
think
don't know.
well, they're still legs. I think leg
bar.
Y'all are cracking me up today.
This is our entire show.
So I
love
started
it.
kind of documenting, like shooting, like how bad I was in the beginning and how it's gotten better. And one of the shots I took, I didn't knock the arrow.
Okay.
I just held it in my hand. I had my cell phone in my other hand like this. Or no, it was like this. So I didn't knock the arrow. The arrow's sitting between my middle finger and my ring finger. I grab the string and I pull back so that this camera is on the left side of the bow.
Okay.
And I just took a shot. Like I just took a picture and I released and let it go. And then I just re-knocked. I'm facing his house. And my house sits in front of his house.
Yeah.
So he sits probably another, I don't know, 70 feet back further than where I'm at, maybe.
Yeah, probably about that.
So he sits 70 feet further back. I'm coming straight out of my garage, and I have my septic system is a mound system.
Okay.
Which is just this gigantic 4-foot pile of dirt, and that's where all the shit goes.
Okay. Right on.
So I put down my target, and I'm aiming down at the ground because of just elevation, and I'm shooting down anyway. So I'm shooting down, and I'm not missing the bag. Like, I'm not great.
You're not that far.
But I'm also only 10 yards away.
Yeah.
Right on.
So I'm just kind of, and I posted the photo, and he lost his ever-loving
On
mind.
Facebook.
On Facebook.
Really?
To which he accused me of shooting at his house, first and foremost, to which I just told him to shut up. And then he's like, well, you're shooting where my dogs play. there's a cornfield between us.
Oh.
There's a 75-foot cornfield between
It's
us.
like I mean, it's not 1,000 acres, but it's a decent strip of corn.
It's got to be 75 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
It's got to be 75 to 100 feet because you have to have 25 feet on each side as far as easement and everything goes. So it's probably closer to 100 foot. So if I did shoot an arrow with a field tip, which is just a little point, through the corn, it would ricochet off the corn and probably end up in the cornfield somewhere. It wouldn't even make it into his
I don't
yard.
think you could shoot that through the cornfield.
I couldn't get that through the cornfield if I wanted to with that draw. So he said something else, and I'm at the gym, so I'm in the middle of workouts, and I like check my phone in rest time, and I just hit the voice, and I just posted it. I'm just like, and I haven't talked to him since.
Oh, got you. Okay.
This was like a month and a half ago.
Oh, so
It's been a minute.
It's been a while. Typically, I shoot into my backyard, so I'll just come out of my garage and I'll set.
Which behind you is a giant corn, like the bigger part of the cornfield.
I have a huge
you have
yard, and then I have another 20 acres of corn behind me.
Yeah, so nothing there.
So there's nothing there. So
Yeah, welcome to Ohio.
yeah, and I'm out there shooting. Well, now I'm shooting with a crossbow.
okay. Sick.
So I'm 20 yards out, 30. Well, I can't go more than 75 feet. So because the arrow just
Yeah, it does.
dives into the ground. But he like lost his ever loving mind about it, and I'm just like,
Interesting.
yeah,
People be crazy.
treat your neighbors like you want to be treated. Well, how about your neighbors treat you like they want to be treated? And I just was like, hey, kiss my ass.
I'll shoot arrows at your house.
I'll shoot arrows into my
I'll shoot
property.
rifles at your house.
Well, that's the other thing.
They'll
Like,
see what's up.
like he doesn't. He's a former Marine.
Oh, okay. Got you.
So, and he doesn't like I've said something about, getting out my 22 and setting up a backstop and shooting into that. And he's like, a 22 can travel 2 miles. I'm like, yeah, it can. As long as there's not something to impede its travel.
Right.
If it hits
2 miles on a 22, you need to have that thing shooting. I don't know if a 22, I want to Google it. You go ahead.
I Googled it already. I double checked.
Did
Did
you?
the research.
It's like a mile or 2 miles. It's something like that. It's something stupid. But he's always like, it'll travel 2 miles. And I'm like, I don't think it's that far. But it doesn't matter because it has to, there can't be anything to impede its travel.
Right.
Like it can only go so far if it hits a tree. So, and there is a house like further behind me, but I'll shoot like to the opposite ends of that house, whatever it is, because they're up on a hill and I'm down in the valley.
So I Googled it and pulled me to a forum where somebody asked, anyone know the max range of a 22 LR? And the first response was, depends on how far the target is. Good point. If you're hitting what you want to hit at 10 feet, it's 10 feet.
10 feet. But so like, because I have an AR-15, I have shotguns, I have rifles, I have a 22,
I have none of that.
357, a 38, and they will go much farther than this 22 will.
Okay.
Yeah, 22's not, dude. Heavy wind will knock a 22 down.
Well, and it's a flesh wound at 10. It's a flesh wound at 10 feet anyway.
I don't want to test that theory.
Well, you'd be the best person to test it on.
Yeah, it's a flesh wound.
You've got body armor.
I do.
But
yeah, I'm looking it up. There's nothing saying a 22 will even travel a mile unimpeded. That I'm finding.
I
But
think
anyway,
it was on Wikipedia. I think is where I saw it at. But either way, so he's like giving me shit about that, and I'm like, I would think you being who he is, former Marine,
would just punch the bullet.
Yeah, he would just
swat it away like a fly.
He would hear me shooting, and he would come over to want to shoot, not tell me not to shoot on my own property. Like, 'cause I live out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I can. I want to have a 100-foot bonfire. I can put a 100-foot bonfire in and just.
We should have a 100-foot bonfire.
I am not burning up that much in my yard.
Pond.
God, that needs filled in. I tried to catch the pond on fire too. 2 years ago, I have a pond that is.
It's a swamp.
Oh,
It's
nice.
more like a mud pit with cattails, and I tried to catch it on fire 2 years ago. I walked out with my plumber's torch and I just started like catching cattails on fire, trying to catch I just wanted to catch the whole thing on fire, burn it all down.
Wow.
It didn't work. Wind kept blowing it out because it's windy where I live.
Oh, okay.
Because you're in the middle of nowhere.
Because I'm in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know.
All right. So to Mac,
Yo.
let's start talking.
Yeah,
Since we
man.
haven't been for a half hour.
Are we going? Has it been 30 minutes already?
At least.
Jeez.
It's got to be. I don't know. Martell can see. Martell's like the producer of this show. I'm just I'm the comedic
We're-
relief and the pretty face.
We're at 45 minutes.
45.
Already?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it's open form. I mean, we'll go 4 hours.
It's just
we've done multiple episode shows. We just talk, and if it's good, it's good. Yeah, and we put it out there, and if it's bad, we still put it out there.
I don't edit anything.
Quit playing for real.
No. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. That's one of the stipulations of the show. I
love that.
It's completely unedited. Whatever noise comes through, like mic noise, unless it's a huge like thump.
Yeah, if it's something that will like blow somebody's eardrums out,
I'll take that out.
That's
but
frowned upon.
But and that's one of the things we've gotten good feedback on is people say, I like your show because there's no agenda. There's no expectations. Right. And you don't know, like I've got a buddy who runs an 80s podcast. It's doing very well. It's a great podcast, but it's always 80s. I like it, but I know what I'm getting. With us, sometimes we don't, I'll tell Martell, hey, I got a topic. Cool. And that's the end.
He may not get to it.
That's the end. I'll show up and he'll go, oh, dude, I got stuff to record on today. Let's go upstairs.
Wow.
And that's the extent of it until we hit record.
Wow.
So it's just, we just.
That's awesome. Guys.
I was also recording about 5 minutes before we actually started the show.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he always does.
I hope you didn't say anything incriminating.
I know, I'm thinking about that. Like, what did I talk about?
It was like, by the way, I got to go. So anyway, you had a show last night.
I did.
So one of the things I want to talk to you about, you are a rapper for a living.
Yes.
You've been doing this full time how long now?
I'm going to put rapper in quotes, by the way, because you don't talk about all the stuff rappers talk about.
Well, to his credit, he said hip hop artist.
I would say
that's the Carlton in you coming out. Ain't
it? Oh, dude, it's all out nowadays.
A lyricist or a rhymer.
A rhymer. You're a musical rhymer.
I'm a rapper.
Hey, if I hear the lyrics musical, something about being a musical rhymer in a future song, I will not be mad.
You want credit?
No, I don't.
Don't even need it.
That
awesome. One's for you.
At this point, I'll just be like, that was me.
That's our gift for you coming and doing this. But you had
you guys.
One thing I want to talk about because we've talked extensively on our podcast how COVID's affected or not affected us. Like my work hasn't stopped because I travel around and work on Army bases.
That's awesome.
I maintain facilities and do projects there, so that hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Those facilities still need to be running.
Right.
Martell has been working from home.
I've been working from home since the 15th? Was the 13th of Friday?
Yeah, he copies and pastes.
That following Monday, I was at home.
Dude, that's awesome.
So he's still working, but so we've talked about how it's affected us. How has this affected you? Because I know at first it like shut you down.
Yeah, man. I was actually in Ohio the weekend like everything happened because I had an upcoming show. So I got up here and had my trailer and all my gear, and then Sunday news was like, basically the world stopping for a while.
Yeah.
And so, it's affected everything, you know.
So you were up here for a show.
Yeah.
Where do you live? Or you don't have to tell us where you live, but where are you from? How far away from home were you?
I would have been 17 hours from home.
So you drove all the way up here to work.
So you drove
we're told
all the way from Germany.
Nine.
That just confirmed it.
Yeah, that's crazy though, man. To be 17 hours from home and then here, you can't do what you get. So you don't work, you don't get paid.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you're not a salary guy. You're an artist. So
yeah. The way I try to explain is I've had 27 events canceled since March 13th. And so when people don't understand, it's like, well, imagine your job saying you're not going to receive 27 paychecks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially. And some people have dealt with that.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah. We've seen that. But would you even be able to file unemployment for that term? I don't know how this stuff works.
Yeah, I was doing some research on that, but for the most part, nah. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough, man. I never thought about that part until, I mean, you don't do shows, you don't get paid.
I was going to say, you're essentially self-employed.
Yeah.
So you're 1099, right?
Yeah, all that. So,
jeez, man. So 27 shows. So you're back at it now, though.
Yeah, my first show back was July 3rd.
Okay.
After everything happened back in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a show last night in Columbus.
I did at the Potter's house.
How'd that go?
So it went good.
I already like it.
I feel like I like disclaimer, right? But it's like, you know, like you used to be able to go to shows and like now it's like, you know, this one didn't, but other shows are like they'll check your temperature at the door. It's hand sanitizer everywhere. Some people wear masks. Some people don't. You know,
I'd love to see the Wall of Death mosh pits rock show, but one side's mask wearers and one side's not. Like they're mad at each other, and then that big drop, boom.
Yeah,
just fight to the death.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So like, So you do shows in open floor plan places, I'd guess. Mm-hmm. Or do they make people space out, or is it just kind of a you're here at your own risk kind of thing?
You know, it's kind of like the reaction of like. I feel like COVID, like in general, like you have people that take it like extremely serious, like
so they kind of stay away from the crowd on their own,
not even coming to the show. You know what I
well,
mean?
yeah.
Like, or if they do, they're all the way in the back.
Well, I was going to say, like our church, our first service usually runs like 800 or 1,000 people.
Yeah,
we have like less than 200 coming, which we told people we're limited in it, but it's weird. So I imagine your show, even the ticket sales have dropped.
Yeah, exactly.
So how does that play into the energy? Because I've seen your shows and I know you are high energy.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
You go all the way up and you're like, get up on the stage. You get people pumped.
Right.
That's got to be hard when people are standing like 20 feet apart from each other.
Well, are ticket sales limited or are they down or both?
Kind of both. You know, some places, like for example, like I'm into Christian music, so I opened for an artist named Jordan Feliz last month. An event like that would have had, I feel like, way more people. But, you know, due to the COVID, like, you know, there's people, like I said, there's people that's taking it very seriously. There's people that, like, COVID doesn't exist, it's not even real. So, but it's definitely affected, you know, the attendance numbers for sure. Like last night, I did the same event last night, and was double, maybe triple the amount there last year that was there this year than this year, you know?
Yeah.
And it just makes you just like, dang, you know, it's just crazy.
And I've played shows. I used to play for free, and then my last band I was in, we nixed that. We just said, you know, we're getting older. We had families at that point. Yeah. That was the one before Derek. I played with Derek. But even still with Derek, we always got paid something, except for one show, I think. But it's really discouraging. Paid or unpaid is its own topic. But it is hard to give it your all when you go out there and see 12 people.
So fortunately, being a no-name rapper, I performed a lot of empty rooms, so I was almost trained for this season of life.
Dude, I feel you. I guess I feel you because I played to a lot of empty rooms too. And I guess that's what I like about you, because I've seen you in front of 800 people, and I've seen you in front of 30 people, and your energy is the same boat. Like your passion's there, so that's.
Oh man, I mean that means a lot, bro.
Well, but I think that's what makes you unique, because there are a lot of people, especially you want to talk secular artists. There are people that won't perform unless certain stipulations are met.
Sure.
Yeah. So what's your rider like?
So
we actually had a rider for Fight the Years, and it was dumb.
How many pairs of white sneakers do you need, and do you need all your M&Ms separated out in color?
Yes, they must all be green.
All green.
All green.
It's always green, man.
Always green.
See, when rappers are talking about getting that green, they're talking about M&Ms, not money.
I actually heard a story about that. That's not like, I don't know if it's legit or not, but you know why they did the green M&M stipulation?
To make sure that people were reading the rider.
Yeah, to make sure people were reading the rider. A lot of people don't know. They just thought they were being divas, and it was
you know who did that?
No.
If I recall correctly, it was Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters.
Yeah, it's even before them.
Was it?
Really? It was done in, I believe it was done by, I want to say it was like the Who or Zeppelin or one of them.
Yeah. It could be. We don't care enough to Google.
Right.
Back in the 70s.
Because when the story's told, it's like, oh man, rock stars are divas. It's like, no, they were just making sure you actually reading.
If you got the Skittles
the
right or the M&Ms,
yeah, they knew you were.
They know you're paying attention to more important things.
Yeah.
So some of the writers are.
Sure, there's
some of the Mariah Careys out there. Like, I know there was one. It might have been Mariah or some female artist. It was like, I have to have 100 lit candles. They must all be white. They must be like. That's excessive. If that's what you're doing to make sure they're reading it, that's excessive. like say 3 candles, I'll give you that.
He goes further than that. I can't remember who it was. It was a rapper. He wanted white tennis shoes, a white suit, and either a white Lamborghini or limousine. Waiting for him.
What?
That's racist, dude. Guarantee you that was Eminem.
He was wearing black socks.
With flip flops.
Right. That's why he wanted shoes, man. That's what you need to do. Put it in your rider. I want white shoes so you can roll it in flip flops. Put on whatever shoes, and then just leave with them. Because he's going to ask you for the shoes back,
right?
See,
slip-ons.
You can have the whole. You can have a second trailer full of shoes.
White Van slip-ons, just because.
Dude, that's genius.
Man, we're hooking you up.
Yo, you guys are taking it.
I'll start writing your rider here. We'll have it printed by the time you're done.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
email it to you.
That would be amazing, actually.
So it's good that you're getting back. So are you back to performing as often, or is it still?
No,
it's got to be slow. Still.
I keep like my calendars and everything from every year. And this time last year during this stretch, I had 22 shows. And during this same stretch of this year, I have 6. You know? So it's very.
I expected maybe half. That's a drastic drop.
Yeah, and like
I'm talking 25% or so of the shows,
right? Yeah, and So it's more downtime in between, you know what I mean? It's weird.
So when you're where you're performing, is it more like churches or is it more like I don't know, industrial based style warehouse?
How many foam pit raves have you done?
I'm trying to think of the most random place I've done a concert now.
Like,
you know
was it a bounce house?
Yeah, there was bounce houses there.
I mean, I know I've seen you at festivals.
Yeah,
I've seen you at a festival, and I've seen you that you've gone to festivals.
Yeah,
and I've seen you at small churches. And
well, I just know that most like concert venues are closed still. Like
Yeah,
concert
for sure.
venues
Yeah.
and comedy like comedy venues, those places are still
Right.
closed. Like they're not even allowed to
Right.
open because of the
I
COVID.
saw a meme last night that said AMC Theaters was opening up, I think like September 1st, and they're doing tickets for a quarter.
Oh no.
But then it said
week.
somebody put tickets quarter, popcorn $9,
Jeez.
soda $18, COVID-19. I was like, oh yeah, they're still going to get your money.
AMC's opening up on I think on the 24th.
seriously.
Yeah, 24th. They're trying to open 100 theaters across the U.S.
Wow.
for 15 cents.
They don't make their money on the tickets anyway.
Fascinating.
It's all on the concessions.
It's all in concessions, but yeah, they're trying to ticket prices will be 15 cents.
So will these be like new movies or is this
I don't know.
fascinating?
You're getting all kinds of ideas today,
Right?
You thought you were just going to come talking
Kick it.
another
for a
some creepy
minute.
fat dude's
So-
basement.
Along the lines of concert venues,
Yeah.
in the UK, they did a concert, an outdoor concert. They set up these platforms that 6 people could sit in.
Okay.
Spaced them
saw
out.
that, yeah.
Spaced them out,
Okay.
and then
It was a big open arena, but
Big
it just
open-
had certain.
it
It,
just-
it looked like a bunch of little like pods, little
Yeah.
Okay.
private stages.
that people
Okay.
could, you could go to an outdoor concert and be able to sit and watch the concert. I mean, it still had all the
Interesting.
production, everything, and they.
Yeah.
So
It would have been a
another idea.
different experience, but you
Interesting.
still at least get to go to a concert, get out, see
Right.
an artist you like.
Or
Right.
even Garth Brooks did a drive-in theater.
Drive-in theater, yeah.
Okay,
they
I've
did.
been
They
seeing
showed
Now
that
that
on
I,
South High.
that I didn't like. You kiss my butt on that one because you're paying a premium to go see Garth Brooks. I want to see him in person, projected up on the big screen. I
Right.
don't want to see him projected on the big screen, standing in
Well,
his
yeah, because
backyard.
I can watch that from YouTube at home.
I can-
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a
Oh, so he's
55
not there?
No.
Oh.
It was just him on the screen.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
him
out.
at a.
Yeah,
It was
I'm
him
out.
at a venue somewhere that no one was at.
Dude, they sold out.
Doing his performance.
Sold out drive-throughs.
Oh yeah, sold out drive-throughs.
Quit playing with
Yeah.
my emotions. That's wild.
But it's Garth.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
He
like
is.
the dude literally went, I'm going to quit music and focus on my family. Came back 20 years later and immediately sold out an arena tours across the nation. Like, it's Garth. It's not like anybody's going to watch the Derek Radcliffe band with me and Derek and some guys up on a screen. And I'd have to pay
I'd
them to
watch
get
that
them there.
show.
I would watch it, especially
You'd probably be part of it.
This
If
is
you were
true.
in town,
This
I'd
is
just
true.
call you.
Hit me
if
up.
you could get Meet Derek and Music Derek together.
Me, Derek running concessions,
Yeah.
music, Derek. We'd be up on stage.
Well, you don't have to be up on stage. That's why it's there.
If Meet Derek's there, I'm probably not on stage. I'm
Yeah.
probably eating brisket.
I feel that.
Yeah. So what's the most unique place you've ever done a show?
Okay, I got this.
You got it? All right.
All right. So it's a little story to it, all right?
Hey,
I
We
did
got
this.
we
I
got all
the
day.
time.
I did this small indie tour, and it would like take like small Christian bands trying to learn about touring and stuff. And so you didn't get paid for anything. The only money you made was
was
your
an internship.
Yeah, basically. The only money you made was the merchandise you sell, which was none. So
You got to sell a lot
Yeah.
of fanny packs to make it worth your time.
yeah, exactly. A lot of fanny packs.
And he does have fanny packs.
I do.
I love
do,
it.
I do.
I think you should start doing the socks and slippers competition.
socks with flats, bro.
There you go.
So they don't tell you like where the show is going to be until you get there. So we pull up.
So
to
they're
this-
just like, hey, we want to get you on this tour so you know what it's like to tour. And what we mean is you're going to know what it's like to not get paid, not know where you're going, not know what your dressing room's like.
really, it was just setting up for real life. In general,
Right.
you know. So
We're going to go ahead and make this the worst experience. So you've done it.
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so go ahead.
So we pull up to this like desolate area, and it's like a single road for like 2 miles. I'm like, man, where are we going, bro? And then we like to the right of us, it's like this private like jetway for like a private plane. So I'm like, all right, this is interesting. We pull up, bro, and it's this giant like Bruce Wayne mansion, and I'm like,
Dang.
oh snap, son. And so, like, the part of the tour is like, yeah, we'll give you shows. We'll also give you places to stay as well. So I'm like, I'm about to sleep in a mansion for the first time in my life. So we walk inside this mansion, and the dude's like, "Hey, what?"
You'd have really been like Carlton.
I know, right? Literally, Carlton. And the dude that owned it, he was like, "Yo, welcome. We're so happy to have you here." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "We're all the guys." And he was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, you guys are going to be staying in the treehouse in the backyard." So we're like, "Ha, ha, ha, ha." And he was like deadpan, like serious. Like, dude, he had 15 dudes sleeping in a clubhouse in his backyard of his mansion.
But what you don't mention, though, is the clubhouse is like this 2,200 square foot, 6-bedroom.
No, it was a kid's treehouse. It was a kid's tree. It was 2 stories, but it was a kid's treehouse.
That's funny.
And we performed behind the treehouse the next day to like 15 of his friends.
Oh man,
so, that's good.
I went to him like, "Yo, I'm about to sleep how the 1%ers live," to like sleeping in a treehouse where the kids hang out during the day.
I slept behind a mansion.
Yeah, I slept behind the mansion. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know this, but I saw a mansion one time.
I saw one. Yes,
you just posted a castle the other day on Instagram.
I did,
or Facebook.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Well, I was driving, and I'll always, if I'm done working and heading home or something, I'll be like, "How do I get from like Toledo to Circleville without touching a freeway?"
The most obscure way possible.
So I'll literally go, "Hey," because my work phone's an iPhone. I'll be like, "Hey Siri, navigate to Circleville, Ohio," and it pulls it up, and then I'll make the map bigger and say, "Okay, what's the next closest small town?"
Yeah,
and then I'll redirect to that town and just see where it takes me. And I'm just driving along, 4-way stop, nothing but corn around me, no other traffic.
Right.
Tells me to turn left. I turn left, and I look to my right, and there's this giant castle, like a full-fledged castle. And I found out it's one of the Piat castles here in Ohio.
That's awesome.
That they gave tours to up until last year.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
So you
but
just
it's a
missed the mark.
legit castle. I was just like, dang, just peeking through some trees. So I just, I pull over, roll my window down, take a picture.
There are several small castles throughout Ohio.
There's a castle here in Circleville, actually.
Seriously?
That you can stay in. It's a very tiny one. But they're legit.
We don't consider
castles,
McDonald's a castle.
What about White Castle?
Bingo. Yeah. I was going to say, this castle is white and
My
it's on
man.
22. Actually, you're going to pass it when you leave out of town.
Well, I'm getting a crate case for the road.
There you go. 30 sliders.
I got a neighbor who works for White Castle.
That's a good man.
He's not working the line. He's one of the architects.
What?
Dang.
Yeah. He's one of the engineers that
That's
helps
awesome.
design the buildings and blueprints out the buildings for all the restaurants.
That's awesome.
Okay, so now this tour with the I'm going to call it the treehouse tour.
I thought you were talking about the tour of White Castle.
I'm down for that tour too, though.
No, right. I don't even need a tour. I just need to give me food for free.
Right.
No, there's this treehouse tour.
Yeah.
So what was the best place you played at on that thing? Because it sounds awful.
Man, dude, so it was so random, bro. Like, this was 2011. Like, I was like a lot younger.
That's
so.
when I was skinnier. Not skinny. I said skinnier.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'll give it to you.
But I would say it wasn't like worse because of the situation. It was just worse because like I feel like I was about to die. That was a weird setup. So
Mark and I both were like, go on.
So you had to jump out of a plane without a parachute.
Yes.
And get over to a guy who had a parachute. Or else you couldn't perform.
It was a Tom
And then you had to
Cruise
perform behind the parachute the next night.
Yeah. Exactly. I enjoyed it, man. It was a fun podcast, man.
This is all we do.
appreciate it.
I dig it.
We just like having fun. That's why we do it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, man.
We don't have any listeners.
You know.
Matter of fact, I'm not even going to upload this, by the way. We're just sitting when I'm not even recording. That's all prop. That's all prop stuff.
That's something from a Ghostbusters movie.
It does look like the Ghostbusters back thing. Yeah. That's awesome. But yeah, so it was like this soup kitchen concert, which is dope. Like, I love that. But they used to serve food.
Okay, Soup Kitchen concert sounds like the Aldi version of Johnny Cash playing prisons. like I ain't cool with going to prison, but I'll do a Soup Kitchen.
Right.
But I bet it would be cool though, because people there they need some entertainment. Man. I bet they were into it.
Right. So I was all about it. That part was awesome. But the thing is, they would serve the meals at noon, which at that city was like one of the hottest parts of the day. And so they served everybody outside. So like everybody in the soup kitchen was like sitting under the shade under the roof, and they had us perform on the blacktop.
Oh.
So there's no shade. the blacktop's absorbing all the heat, right?
Yeah.
So I get out there and I had to go first, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to performing to empty parking lots, but I'm not used to performing.
He literally just about to set up a Walmart
to a 90-degree parking
yeah,
to
right.
120-degree parking lot.
And I was a bit heavier at the time too.
Yeah, you lost some weight.
Oh, thanks, bro. I appreciate that.
What do you mean,
man.
thanks? It's obvious, man. when me and you was on that here's the thing. We did this youth camp together, and I was running the camp. So we start off the first thing on stage, and he does a song, and I go up, and him and I are kind of welcome campers. And I told people, hey, whoever sends me the funniest picture or meme or whatever you make regarding camp, by the end of the week is going to win soccer. It's free camp next year or something. And somebody took a picture of me and him and said, I didn't know they was going to have DJ Khaled and Rick Ross at this camp. Because I was wearing a toboggan, looking like, they said I looked like
I used
DJ
to have
Khaled.
the big beard.
And he had a big beard. He was heavier.
Bro,
dude.
I was dying.
I went straight to him when they said to me, I was like, dude, we got to put this on screen for the whole camp to see. That kid won. That was on Tuesday. Nobody else had anything good.
We have a front runner, guys.
Oh, man. But anyway. So you're on the blacktop at the soup kitchen.
It's noon. Sun's directly above me. The blacktop is absorbing all this heat. And I'm high energy, right? So I'm going in, there's no tomorrow. I get 2 songs in and I can't see straight anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I was like, yo, I'm sorry, y'all. I got to cut the show. And I remember stumbling to inside of the building and just collapsing.
Oh, dude.
Just collapsed.
Totally dehydrated.
Yeah,
weren't you?
dehydration. Yeah. So I've never experienced that before. Hopefully never experience it again. So that was probably the worst.
I was going to say,
stop.
Randy asked for your worst, and we thought the treehouse one was the worst.
No, well, that one was
at least you didn't pass out.
Yeah, at least I didn't almost die.
That was one of the craziest. But
my pride died that night, sleeping in a kid's treehouse.
Well, playing with Derek Ratcliffe band, we got a call for an outdoor festival up outside of Bell Fountain or something here in Ohio, and it was August.
Okay,
it was one of those Bellefontaine. It's one of those August days where the heat index is 101 or something.
Have mercy.
So we get up there to set up. I think setup was at and sound check was at 12 or 12:30.
Yeah.
So we drive, and I knew going into this we're going to make $50.
I feel
it's just not going to be good. But one of the guys that was running it kind of knew us. One of the guys that was headlining it really knew us. And they're like, hey, we need a spot filled. We're like, screw it. Jason, my buddy who was playing lead guitar at the time with us, his mom lived half hour from this place. He's like, we'll just chill there until it's time or whatever, and love his mom. So I said, cool. Dude, we get up there and we're setting up, and by the end of setup, my shirt's soaked.
Oh, I feel that.
It's 100. They said it's 101. I think it hit 104 that day.
Oh man.
We do sound check. Sound sucks. All this. We're like, screw it. So we go to Jason's mom to get cleaned up, chill in the AC for 4 hours, whatever, until we have to head back. So we do that, have a good time. Hanging out with his mom. Got to meet his grandpa, which was hilarious because his grandpa's one of those old dudes that just don't care anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And we're sitting there talking. We're sitting there talking. We're tired from the sun. We're tired from the trip. Most of us are half asleep, and he starts telling stories. And he gets done telling one of these stories. And Jason's laying on the floor half asleep because he's heard grandpa's stories for years. And Jason's grandpa's on one of the metal fold-out chairs. He gets done telling the story and rips the loudest old man fart I ever heard. And we all just kind of did did that happen? Or am I half asleep dreaming this? But Jason, he's one of these guys that if something's funny to him, he'll lose it. He went from half asleep to sitting up, fully jumping up, and his eyes are as big as saucers. His facial expression did you guys hear what my grandpa just did?
Yeah.
But yeah, we went back to that stage and we played, I think, a 40-minute set.
Oh, wow.
Half hour, 40 minutes, dude.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate it. I said never again.
Yeah.
And actually, I wasn't even this fat then, but I can't do that kind of heat and play. The energy, you get zapped.
Bro, yeah.
It's dumb.
I know the feeling because one time when I was at band camp, I got nothing.
You ain't walked the same since.
Oh, my goodness.
That flute.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
It's a trombone that'll get you.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
But
make it that far.
Welcome to our podcast.
Yeah,
This is the norm. Now you might start listening while you're driving, but we are just dumb.
This is awesome, man.
So
what's next? What's next for Damac?
As far as concerts?
Well, anything. What you got coming up? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
What is your 5-year plan?
What's my 5-year plan?
Where do you see yourself in a decade?
Question.
I know, me too. That's why I asked it.
Because I said 5 years ago that I was going to be moving south, and my boss looked at me at the time. She goes, "So you're not going to work here?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Well, now you can work from home, so sure.
Well, now my boss told me I can move to Texas.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Well, I think one thing that's taught me this year has taught me a lot of things actually. But one thing I learned this year is, man, is like you can make plans, but things can change in like a day or a weekend. You know what I mean? So as far as like this Damac thing, like right now I have long-term goals, but right now I'm just focusing like on the short term because that might not even be here, in a month or so. Like I said, with 27 cancellations, being an independent artist, for people don't know what that means. Like that means you do not have a third party backing you. So there's no record label, there's no management, there's no angel investors. Like you basically eat what you kill. You know what I mean? So with 27 roadkill, exactly.
A lot of rodents.
A lot of roadkill.
Anything you can find living out by the treehouse.
Yeah. So
the neighbor's dog that Martel shot.
I did not shoot.
You shot a dog,
no,
bro?
I didn't shoot
the arrow? The arrow?
Crossbow. Trust me. If I had the opportunity, I would take that dog out. But
it's a mean dog.
This is a dog just constantly barking.
Oh, that is annoying.
It's a German Shepherd. It's just constantly bark.
I feel that.
I can't walk outside. If the corn's up, the dog can't see me, so it's cool. It's cool right now. But when the corn's down, I can't go outside and check my mail. I can't shoot an arrow.
Well, that's awesome.
So then again, that's something I've been paid to play music. Some people say the definition of a professional is getting paid to do it.
I get paid to listen to music.
That's awesome.
That's
because I just do it while I'm working.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Yeah, but like I've got my paycheck coming in.
Yeah.
So if I don't have a show, which right now I'm not playing out anywhere, but that's something that most people probably don't think about for a small independent artist. A lot of these big artists that are quote unquote, I'm doing the air quotes, you guys can't see it, we're all in it together from their yachts. They're not worried about missing 27 shows.
Right.
You're going, I can't even put gas in my tank and get a meal if I don't play these 27 shows. So
it's really true.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you don't have a staff behind you.
No,
you don't have. You're alone on the road.
Yeah.
100%. No roadies.
No, I mean it depends. Like
groupies.
I know you've got. And you post,
definitely not that.
You post pictures of your.
You
family.
see my face? There's no groupie problems at the Damac show. Not one.
I've actually got a funny story about that. So Derek Ratcliffe Band's playing the main stage at Circleville.
Yeah.
What was this? 2015, 16, whatever. And usually, like Derek's a decent looking guy, but
he's a nice dude.
Yeah,
I like him.
He's a nice dude.
I'd kiss him.
I think I have. I'd kiss him again.
Oh my goodness!
But actually, he wanted to be here today when he found out you were coming.
Oh, really?
He was at church this morning. We played worship together, and
you should shoot him another text.
Yeah. He should. I will. I'll say come over.
But
anyway, so we're playing on stage, and I look to the right, like almost backstage. Now, we have our church people out there, our friends, our family, my wife, my kid.
Yeah.
Because Judd won more than time. They're all down there. My parents, they're watching us. They're singing the songs with us because we did some covers. We did some originals. And we're playing in front of all the Pumpkin shows. So anybody that stops, anybody walking by hears us. And it's cool. We're going.
Right.
And I look down, and there's this girl there, pretty girl, about my age.
Okay.
And she's kind of like motioning to me, and I'm like, what is she? I didn't recognize her. Again, our church is huge. Maybe it's somebody I don't really know well.
Sure.
But she said something, and finally, between one of the songs, I went over to the edge, like the steps. I said, hey, what's up? And Derek's talking about something, or they're doing something. They're playing a lead riff or something. Okay. I said, what's up?
She goes,
and she
not
goes,
you.
No. She said, I couldn't hear her. She said, my mom likes you. And I went, what? And she goes, my mom likes you. And she pointed to this like middle-aged, heavy-set woman. And when I looked at the woman and I saw her, she like immediately looked embarrassed. So I blew her a kiss. And she was like 3 people away from my wife. And so Beth saw it all, and she lost it. But yeah, this woman got all embarrassed, and she said, and the girl, because I never wear a ring when playing, especially, which I haven't worn a ring now for a while because it rolled over the stove at the place we moved out of, and I left it.
Oh, the struggle.
My wife, it was one of those $12 rubber rings.
I feel that.
Beth was like, meh, you ain't going anywhere.
Just get it tattooed like I do.
I want to. But nice. She was like, are you single?
That's awesome.
I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm married, but I have dinner with you.
As long as you pay for it.
Yeah, you want to buy me a meal? Can I bring my my wife and kid. But that was the only time I was like, somebody likes the fat, hairy bass player. It's like somebody's mom.
I don't even get moms, though. That's the thing. Like, I get nobody at my shows.
Bunch of racists at your shows. I swear.
No groupies at my shows, bro. None.
Yeah, so
they do not exist.
So, you're on the road full time. I love seeing a lot of your stories from the road. But one thing that I really like is when you post the pictures of your family. And when I say family, I mean the whole blood, stick, and water thing. Yeah. I used to put a lot of value and weight in that, but it's not true.
For you don't have to be. You were talking about Bloods and Crips. You said the whole Bloods. And I was like, and the Crips. I went, no, not that.
But he'll post pictures of like, hey, these people are my family, and they're not biologically, but you're going, these are people that I know, I trust, I love. Yeah, and it's cool to see that you have that around. Yeah. I mean, now you know where I live, so you got a place to stay here.
Oh man, thanks,
we got a queen size bed on the third floor. That makes it sound like a huge house. We're in the basement. We're gonna put you in the attic. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So you're welcome. But no, like it's finished up there. But when Beth and I moved here, because we had all four of us, me, wife, and two boys, in a 1-bedroom apartment just down the road here.
Oh, okay, all right.
And when we moved here, I was like, man, this is a place we could open up to people that are traveling.
Yeah, so, man, that's amazing.
But it's cool to see that you have that because, and that's probably been a blessing for you because I can imagine losing 27 shows.
Yeah.
That's
it's
a lot
not like you can afford just to go stay at
hurtful.
hotels for 150 bucks a night.
You just can't ball out like that. Actually, there was one of the shows that I did was through a church last month, and they actually to support, they actually, because they knew how many cancellations I had, one, they paid me extra, and two, they put me in a hotel for like a few days. So
nice.
That's like, so when you talk about family, like they weren't my blood, but that's definitely family. You know what I mean?
That's what family does for family.
Real talk. Shout out to Life Point in Kansas, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Rex, you crazy dude, you.
I'm sure Rex listens to the Buckhorn podcast. Some a nice Christian guy in Kansas, Oklahoma. I didn't even know Kansas, Oklahoma was a place.
I didn't either.
We went to my wife's cousin's graduation party last weekend, I think. And I said, I haven't seen this kid since she was like 8 because they moved to Pennsylvania. And I was asking her mom, I said, Jess, what school's page going to? And she said, it's the University of California. And I was like, oh I applied to UC. She's like, no, wait. It's University of California of Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Indiana and Pennsylvania.
I said, no, hold on. I said, I know there's an Indiana, Pennsylvania because I have friends that live out there.
Okay.
There's an actual town called Indiana, Pennsylvania.
All right.
Which is dumb. Why would you name your city anyway?
Yeah.
Because it was dumb.
But yeah, it's like California, Pennsylvania is also a city. So she's going to University of California, Pennsylvania, but it's not associated with the UC.
Wow.
It was like all confusing.
That's a lot of stipulations.
Yeah. I was like, man, couldn't she just go to DeVry? Columbus State.
It sounds like a community college.
It might. I don't know. It might be, but I'm assuming if it's got to have 3 state names in it, and you've never heard of it, it's probably not big. But that's where she wanted to go.
Huh. All right.
I think she wanted to go to OSU, but that's what she picked. I was like, I just never heard of
that.
California, Pennsylvania.
Same.
I want to get back on this. What is next for Damac?
Yeah, man.
Type of thing. So, because I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
You're a problem causer too.
Yeah, I cause problems too. I do both. I cause problems to solve the problem. So you've had a bunch of cancellations. I'm going to put you on the spot at this point.
Yeah, man. Let's chop it up.
So with like YouTube and Twitch and Mixer and all of that stuff, have you looked into those for kind of opportunities to be able to spread your message, get your music out, other than Spotify and do more so live recording. I'm going to call them live recordings, but recording, put it up there and do those things to try to monetize on those platforms.
Yeah, so I actually have a friend. She's in LA now, and with the YouTube and like TikTok route, that's basically the strategy is to become a brand. Like, you can be a music artist at heart, but the plan is to establish yourself as a brand first, or as an influencer, as it's called. So once you build that online presence, you'll be able to generate more views, which leads to better monetization. Because if you're a no-namer, who's going to watch your videos, and you're not going to make enough off the views you do get for it to matter. You know what I mean?
You're preaching the choir on that.
Yeah, the indie struggle, right? So
we're an independent podcast.
But we don't put any effort into our stuff.
Right.
I haven't. I barely or rarely ever post anything other than maybe a photo here and there to our Instagram account.
Right.
And I hardly ever post anything to our stories.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel
Ever.
that.
I'm just too lazy
Well,
I understand.
we
to
kind
deal
of
with it.
I understand.
we kind of it's like the quote unquote grassroots campaign, but for us, we built from the ground up to where we want to be, which is just doing a podcast. We have no.
There's no
People ask me,
ambitions
yeah,
of making
I had
this
people.
bigger.
Oh, right
when we
on.
were about like six months into this. Somebody said, "Hey, I've been listening. Blah blah. What do you guys want to do to grow?" Like, I don't care.
I like that.
He's like, "What do you mean? What's your next episode?" I don't know. I show up to Martell's, we hang out, and we
And we
talk.
kick it and
Literally,
make epic
we have-
podcast.
That's
We-
it.
I love it.
We've been paid in alcohol.
Yeah,
We've
had-
literally gotten.
we've had people send us their whiskey or bourbon.
That's
distilleries,
awesome.
We've had
said, hey,
we've had distilleries
sample
send us
this.
alcohol.
That's super awesome.
We had a meadery in Columbus give us mead to taste on the show. You know, things
three
like that.
bottles,
Awesome.
3 bottles, like not like
That's
little
super
bottles.
And those
like
are 20
full,
something
like,
dollars
so-
a piece. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's you know, it's been fun, but we just do it for us, and I think that's maybe that's why we're quote unquote passionate about it. We try to make sure
Yeah.
we always record a show.
Right.
We try to make sure that it's fun.
Right. I'm having a
Because-
blast personally. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
everybody comes on our show loves it. I don't know if the listeners do.
Yeah. I think we've only had maybe 2 shows that I didn't like.
Oh, okay. So
They just kind of were like, meh,
Yeah.
okay.
whatever.
But most time, here's the thing too, man. With the media out there, with Facebook, with there's political podcasts out the wazoo.
Right.
There are great Christian podcasts. There's 80s podcasts. There's
Right.
all these pointed podcasts. There's sports podcasts, but ours is just you never know what you're going to get. Man.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
kind of like a Cracker Jack prize. It's just-
yeah, cause
I have no idea where we're going. I'm on here today, so
Well,
this is awesome.
you
actually-
showed up, and I was like, you're like, yeah, I never really listened. We had no agenda. We didn't tell you what to say. You came downstairs and sat in front of a mic, and we hit record. That's
I mean,
how we
I
roll.
actually I came with a list of stuff that happened this week, and we ain't even touched that yet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I said
That's
yet.
awesome. I'm ready. Let's do
You
it.
ain't like, what
I've
time you got to leave? 'Cause,
Dude, we could do this all night.
day.
man.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so like
Yeah.
back to the the original. So, what's the? I guess back to that original question.
Yeah.
So where are you at with that? Like,
All right.
is it something you're looking into, or something you're not looking at
Right.
doing, or
Yeah. So as an independent artist, once again, like I think when you have to find what works for you, you know what I mean? So like I looked at, like maybe becoming an influencer, and building like that online presence so that can generate, views and streams, because Spotify, you get like 0.00 like 7 cents every time you get a stream. So unless like 1 million people are playing your stuff, you're not
Y'all
gonna
start
get,
listening.
Yeah, you're not going to get paid.
Everybody needs to look at Damac
Right.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
Hit play and turn your volume down even.
Yeah, you ain't got to listen
Just
to
let
it.
it roll.
Play it. Just play it. I'm not going to be offended.
I got multiple computers. I can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I will not be offended. Same thing with YouTube though, like views. Like so
Yeah.
unless you have like that influencer brand presence, you're not gonna make money that way.
Right.
So so those are times I had to be honest with myself. Like, I mean, I'm a nice guy, but like I'm not Justin Timberlake. I'm not Nelly. Like 1 million people aren't going to want to check me out. You know what I made I made peace with that. I'm good with that.
But you don't know that though.
Maybe.
Well, here's the
Okay.
thing.
Maybe.
Because I will say, now you can't, they're right now. Well, TikTok's ended up getting banned in the U.S.
That's what I've been hearing. Yeah.
But there's no money to be made on TikTok. There's
Yeah.
no sponsorships or anything like that to be
Right.
made on TikTok. I have a nephew.
Uh-huh.
He has 600,000 or 700,000 followers on TikTok.
Crushing it.
He has 200 on Instagram.
Fascinating.
Isn't that weird?
That's fascinating. I'm having a hard time.
That's the difference
processing
between
that.
an influencer on a platform and a
Right.
celebrity.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
Justin Timberlake, he
Is-
could get followers on anything.
on any
Right.
platform. His name's there. They're going to follow.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, some of the bigger
Interesting.
pop names.
Yeah.
That's really.
And I've seen that too. You go on somebody's Instagram. I've seen people with 1.2 million followers on Instagram.
Right.
They have nothing else.
Yeah.
There's no
Fascinating.
Facebook presence. You
Well,
know,
like even us. So, for instance, we have 212 followers on Facebook.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Okay.
Y'all got more fans than me.
that
No,
don't mean
you
they
have- you have
listen.
5,100.
I invited like a bunch of my friends and stuff. That don't mean they
Yeah,
listen.
that doesn't mean no
That
one's
just means they
listening.
clicked like.
So we have 200 and I think we have 212 on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
but then we have 132 on Instagram.
Okay, so it's very consistent.
So, kind of. But those aren't people that are listening. Like it's in everything that we post I post from Instagram.
I don't do a lot for the show.
You're the face of the brand.
He just shows up.
Something like that.
So everything that I post on Instagram goes to Facebook. So
okay, right on.
there's some crossover for our followers for Instagram to Facebook. But again, like going back to my nephew and his 700,000 followers on TikTok versus this 215 on Instagram, I don't know that you can basically go, yeah, well, a million people aren't going to watch me, aren't going to follow me.
Yeah.
Because, like I said,
that's true.
He's popular over on this one,
right?
But he's not on this one.
Right.
Here's what I would say. Some of the stuff that I've noticed on your Facebook that gets the most reactions is when you come out and just like, hey, yo, I'm about to be real.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been thinking about this. I've been praying about this. And then you just speak from your heart. Mm-hmm. I love seeing your fans. I love seeing when you travel. But when you sit out there and say, with the George Floyd thing.
Yeah.
You didn't just post out of emotion. You didn't even post anything about it for a while.
Right.
And you said, I need to share some of the experiences I've had just being a black man traveling alone on the road.
Right, right.
And you shared some to me, and I sent that to a couple of my friends that were, having discussions back and forth with in private. I private messaged them and said, hey, I know this guy. I know these are legit stories. He's not speaking out of emotion. He's not making crap up for likes.
Right.
But it looked like you got so much reactions out of that, and I think people want to connect with what's real. Mm-hmm. Seeing stuff that's funny is good, but it's like trying to be a stand-up comedian. It's very hard to break into.
Right.
People like good food. It's going to be hard to open a restaurant and sustain.
Sure. I don't know. With some of the crap you've been posting lately.
Hey, I'm going to open that restaurant one of these days.
This restaurant.
Tell me you want to go to a restaurant that served off-the-wall nasty food. It's a kitschy thing.
I wouldn't go.
But I would do the more edible ones. I want to do the ones that are like completely like hot dog water jello.
No.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. I'd put it on the menu.
But some of the other funny stuff, I was like, I bet somebody would try that.
Did you post, was it fried chicken Oreos you posted one time? I was like, what is this craziness?
But the one I posted was the ravioli on pizza.
The ravioli pizza?
I'd eat that.
I'm in on that.
So it's like, I'd do stuff that's like you just don't get anywhere else. If I open a restaurant, that's what I'd want to do.
Okay, I respect it.
It'd just be weird stuff, but
I respect it.
Still good.
Yeah.
Not the real nasty ones. I couldn't do that.
No.
Those are just funny to...
Hey, can I get an appetizer? Yeah, what'd you like? Oreos and salsa.
It's like having your appetizer and dessert. You got both before you get your meal.
For dessert, I'd like to have the powdered donuts and canned cheese.
Yeah. It's good. Oh, don't knock
it.
it.
It is
don't
gross.
knock it, T-Try.
I'm getting
I was going to say
mixed reviews.
Take it from me. You have no idea who I am.
I have no reason to lie to you.
Take it from the guy that shoots his neighbor's dog with
a crossbow.
with a crossbow. No, but what I was going to say though, if you are going to go lean into that, something I would. I'm on Instagram almost every night when I go to bed.
Yeah.
Which is where I find a lot of those dumb memes.
Amazing.
But I'll be scrolling through crap, right? And if I see something that's a video and I start watching, I even see it's a minute long, which is the Instagram limit.
Right.
Well, now they got the reels.
I know, that's what I was getting to. But if it doesn't get me within the first 10, 15, I'm done.
Right.
And if I see something that, it says continue watching, if I hit that button, they've hooked me.
Right.
I watched one last night. It was like 3 or 6 minutes. Hilarious.
Wow.
But what I was going to say is that if you are talking on something that's real, and I've seen some people that have put out videos with what's going on in the nation between the George Floyd, the COVID, the football getting shut down. Most of it, I skim past. But there's a few people that are connecting to me. And I had one guy reach out that I know that was upset that Ohio State didn't play because he's a huge fan. But more importantly, his wife works for the athletic department. So when everybody's bashing, like, oh, you idiots that care about sports ball and all this, I'm going, no, like, I've got friends whose wives are about to lose their job.
Right.
That means more to me than and I worry about the kids' future.
That's real talk.
A lot of these players, like Justin Fields started this petition. A lot of the parents did saying, hey, our kids have worked their whole lives for this, and now you're just saying they can't play their senior year, you're going to postpone it, or who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
And they're ready to play now. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm connecting to. I'm looking at the Justin Fields saying, yo, this was supposed to be my year. This was going to catapult me into a career in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's what matters to me. So if you connect with people on a level like that, I think you could influence a lot of people.
Yeah.
Plus, here's the other thing. I would like your spin on it because you said, here's the racial stuff that I've seen and stuff I've dealt with personally, but you put that positive spin on it at the end. You're like a Boy Meets World episode. It's like all the crap happens, all the jokes, all the life, and then at the end it's like, here's the lesson, though. Here's what we can take out of it.
The Black Corey Matthews.
Right.
I've always wanted to be.
So, but I mean, I think it could work.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Absolutely. I think stuff like that could work.
I don't know how you do that, but that's for you to figure out.
Get started, buddy.
All you need to do is record your video and post it everywhere.
I love that.
Post the messages everywhere.
I love that. I will say, as far as like, I want to backtrack, but like,
go ahead. We don't have any structure.
Yeah, there's no structure.
Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast.
He's done that to me before.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
that's awesome. But yeah, so like I've learned that in my strong points, as far as like if it's going to be generating income, just from an independent standpoint, I've always had my most like financial success is when my events connect like with people like on a deep level. You know what I mean? So like 3 years ago, I created a hip hop house show. All right.
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that? So, like, I'd always seen, like, acoustic artists, like, set up people's living rooms and, like, play songs and stuff like that, right? But I never saw a rapper do it. And I was like, you can't really turn up in somebody's living room. But during, like, my live shows, whenever I slow it down and storytell and do real songs, those are, like, the realest moments of my shows. So I was like, what if I create a hip-hop concert in your living room where there's no turn-up? It's just, I mean, there's fun elements, but it's that real story connection with real songs for an hour. And that's the whole show.
Yeah.
I had some of my biggest financial, like, evenings. And I wouldn't even like, charge to come. And the crowds would be no more than 20 people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I was like.
And that's my point.
Exactly. So in this.
Maybe that's, you do a YouTube channel of those shows.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So I could still, with venues being shut down, and I can't pack out an arena anyway, but I can pack out living rooms all over the country. Right. I can pack out your living room. You know? So what I'm saying is, like, even with like COVID restrictions, you can still have 20 people in your living room. You know what I mean? So what I've been looking at in the direct future is, if things don't pick back up, doing like those hip hop house shows. And maybe like being able to do that virtual aspect that you guys are talking about, and that's like knocking out two things there.
That could be it. That could be your thing.
And then we can take those videos and put them at drive-ins.
Yes, and not physically be there.
Not physically have to be
but
there.
you still get paid.
You know what? You could have recorded it 2-3 months ago, and you don't even have to. Like, you're not literally even on. They can just tell them it's live. And they'll never know the difference.
I could be dead. You know, they wouldn't know.
Well, no, let's not go that far.
Okay, sorry, that took a dark turn.
No, I'm the only one who's allowed to get dark.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
That's racist.
Hold on. We've already gone over my 23andMe.
We have, yes. We did. He did a 23andMe. We've talked about our nationalities. I haven't done one yet.
We've already gone over mine. I am like 75% European.
Interesting.
The other 25% is a mix of everything, but there is a 0.01% African on there.
My brother.
Boom. Count it. Hey, you can use that to run for presidency these days.
I'm like a French Viking.
Fascinating.
Rapper.
With a little, but I have a black pinky toe.
No. What you have at 0.01%, what you have is a freckle. like that's right there.
Right, that one.
African in me.
They think it's a birthmark.
That
one. That's good. I like the idea of the house shows, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've done some around here, around Central Ohio. I'd be down.
It was wild, man. Like, I think because, like, you know, I don't know anybody else doing it, so I think it was just like the novelty of it. But apparently you had pretty good reception. Yeah, man, I did.
Because and I'm with you. I would not think like house party. I've been to a house party where bands have played.
Right.
And, I had a huge basement with like a little mini half ramp in it. And had these bands playing a bar and all this stuff. But I've never seen a rapper do something that intimate.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool.
Because one aspect of it is like you have like I can't tell you how many times I've had parents come to me like, man, I would love to come to your concert, but I can't take all the loud bass and all the energy. So it's like
get some headphones.
But the thing is about the house show is it eliminates all that. So like really like the biggest response were like people like with incomes that could actually buy stuff were like those people like enjoyed the most, like people 30, 40 plus.
Please tell me you're showing up with like a portable karaoke machine.
No, but it's pretty close to it. Pretty close to it. You know, like those Bose tower things?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't afford a Bose, so I got like the off-brand one.
I was about to ask if you had a Bose tower.
No, I can't afford a Bose. Got the off-brand.
I got a Boss tower.
Yeah.
One of those Korean. What's the Korean car radio, man? And things were garbage. It was like a CD player, but it didn't have presets. You had a digital dial knob.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it was. We put one of my brothers to record back in the day.
Take me back, man.
That's cool though, man. That's actually a really interesting thought though. Yeah. We had a brainstorming session here. We didn't plan to have.
TM. Let's T.
Right.
Well, it's already it's because it's been recorded.
Yep.
It's intellectual property and already copywritten.
That's true.
Awesome.
Somebody hears that on ours, we can prove that you said it first.
Awesome.
Or we said it first. If you want to use musically, what was it we said?
Music or lyric? What shit?
Musical
rhymer.
Musical rhymer.
Yeah.
Rhymer.
Check out this one-liner.
All right. So what you may not know about Martell is he's a fantastic rap battler.
Seriously?
No.
I was legit excited, bro.
I was like, let's get you to the rap battle. I was gonna have you go first, and then Martell just
goes B-Rabbit on him. You know?
Martell would be like, "I'm white. I suck." The end.
I use the F word as a pause.
That's a rap. That's pretty much a rap song.
Yeah. You could do a bunch of mumbling and a bunch of F words.
I'll just repeat something from Eminem.
No, so how was your last album there? How long ago was that?
It's 2 years.
I was going to say, I thought it's been a couple now.
It's 2 years, man.
You feel that been your best work so far?
I do. I really do.
No, I think maybe my first album was my best one.
I mean, it's
been all downhill.
I've been on some recordings where I went, yeah, that's not the best overall album. Like,
I just kind of, I half-assed this one.
Yeah.
I've been on some albums and been on some stages where I went, that was not my best
work.
Oh,
yeah. I feel you in that
I've done
one.
better way earlier.
100%, man.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So you getting where are you getting play at?
So, that is also one of the fun things of being like indie, because like you try and like break into like that radio market, right? But like a lot of situations you learn is like relationships through labels. You know what I mean? Like there's guys like first I don't want to like name drop anybody, but like there's a guy signed to a significant label that I know that hasn't been around for a year, and he's getting like plays all over the place, but he's signed to the right label, So a lot of it's about relationships, right? Because I've talked to radio producers, all those guys. They're like, yeah, we like your stuff, but you know what I mean.
It's a lot of it is luck too.
Yeah.
What I just heard was it's 50 Cent. And he's playing for Death Row Records for Suge Knight.
That's it. I don't know. He's only
trying to give me ice, bro.
Hey, I hope they don't know where we're recording this at. Jeez, man.
Right.
By the time they hear this in 2 weeks,
because they're going to listen.
This is going to be gone.
Yeah, Suge Knight's really concerned with what we're talking about.
He's in jail anyway.
He is in jail.
Hey,
right.
Hey, calm down. Stuff can happen from jail. They got people on the outside. Hey, I've watched all them criminal shows and all them.
He ain't
What
Bugsy
was the
Bogues.
one that used to always talk about different gangs each episode? What was that show? You remember what I'm talking
Whitey
about?
Bulger's the one who
I think I know
did a bunch of stuff from jail.
Gangland. It was just called Gangland.
They
went over like Hell's Angels. They went over the KKK. They went over the Crips, the Bloods, the Folks, MS-13, and all that. Dude,
now MS-13, they're the ones who can pull some shit from jail.
I got hooked into that. GW and I went on a golfing trip, got snowed out, and we spent literally an entire day because they were just like doing a marathon.
Yeah.
I learned so much about gangs and gang activity that day. I never knew.
I don't know. You didn't need to watch that. You could have just came to Steubenville.
That's true.
It goes down.
Oh my God.
It was not.
So Steubenville's not the greatest place. Oh,
no, it's not.
Your left testicle just fell out.
I got blue balls.
That fall out of your pocket?
I can't. Yeah, it is a chapstick. I probably can't say that, can I?
Yeah, you can
Dude,
that was
when
good.
you're traveling, you drive a lot. Listen to some of our older shows. That is nothing.
No. So I think I've told the story before. So growing up, I grew up like in East Liverpool, Toronto, which are two small like river towns.
Yeah.
And Steubenville is like a slightly bigger than Liverpool, but Liverpool's a pretty big city on the east coast of Ohio. And so growing up, I worked at Burger King.
Okay.
So from like when I was 16, 17, I worked at Burger King, and I hung out with my manager.
Uh-huh.
And she was ghetto fabulous.
Love
like
it.
just ghetto fabulous.
Love
So she she embraced that hood life.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd go down to her apartment. Her and her cousin lived in this shitty apartment building, downtown Steubenville. Always had guys over. One of the guys was a really big drug dealer that they were friends with, who we'd get off shift at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
We'd go down to her house, hang out, have beer, whatever. Excuse me. He'd show up, and he just looks at me. So Michelle and her sister were white, and then there was myself, and then everybody else was black. Just to kind of give
context.
Context to this. So he walks in, and he looks at Michelle, and he's like, "Who's a white boy?" And she's like, "Oh, he's cool. Don't worry about him." He's like, "You do drugs?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You want to?"
Whoa.
I'm like, "No." He's like, "Good." He goes, "I need you to do me a favor. I need to make a run. I don't have a car." I'm like, "Wow. Where?" He's like, "We need to go to Lincoln Avenue." I'm like, "Ooh."
It's like Mount Vernon Avenue in Columbus.
Oh, got you. Okay.
White people
Vernon
don't
Avenue,
go to Lincoln Avenue.
Got you.
And he goes, "It's cool. You're with me." He goes, "What do you drive?" I'm like, "That beat up Buick out there." He's like, "Even better." He goes, "You fit right in." So we hop in the car.
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, take me up here." And he's like, "Hold on." He goes, "You know how to get back on?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know how to get back." He's like, "All right." He goes, "Well, here's $300. Just head back down to Michelle's. No big deal."
Wow.
Nah, I'm not. I can't. He's like, "Take the money and go."
Yeah.
So this went on like a couple times. Like this wasn't like. So then he'd show up again. He'd be like, "Here's $500. Wait for me. I'll be back."
Wow.
Shit. I think I probably made $15,000
That's wow.
driving this guy to drop-offs.
Wow.
It was insane. I made more money in a 9-month period driving this guy than I did actually working for Burger King.
Mind-boggling.
Like he would
15,000. You could have started. You could have opened your own franchise Burger King.
I know. It was absurd. Like
You could have owned the Burger King.
Yeah.
I ended up having to quit Burger King and like quit hanging out with them, and because I was getting ready to move out here.
Sure.
And I was just like, I'm done. He's like, and then she called me one day and she was like, "Hey, so and so wants to know where you're at." And I'm like, "Tell him I quit."
I'm out of the country.
Like I would get, pagers were a big thing back in like the late 90s.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I had a pager. I'd get paged from him.
Wow.
He got my number from Michelle because she had my number if something was needed for work. So he got my number from Michelle. I would get.
Do you remember his code still?
No.
Oh, okay.
He would just text me. It would just be a phone number, whatever. I call it back, and he'd be like, "Hey, I need you to." I'm like, "I'm in Youngstown."
Wow.
He's like, "Well, I need you to come." I'm like, "It's the middle of the day." No.
That's
Crazy.
wild, man.
But it was Steubenville is
That's
the
wild.
whole city is like a rundown mill row.
Wow.
Like it is bad. It is awful bad.
That's crazy.
Poverty Street. It's like a little stepchild of Detroit kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
except in a different state.
Yeah.
Detroit's like it's
It's a
delinquent father.
Jeez.
I saw a meme last night. Somebody took a picture of the front of their house and said, "Somebody done stole my porch last night. We can't have nothing up in Detroit." said I opened my door and just fell. And it looked like they had a wooden porch attached, like steps, gone. It was just like a 3-foot drop.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I love the
So
internet.
yeah. So what's your favorite show you've ever done?
Favorite show I've
Favorite
ever
show
done.
besides the one that you drove like an hour and a half just to do one verse with me and Derek.
Oh,
Or
I
this
know
show.
that was or this show.
when you peak, man, that's when you peak.
I
right?
know.
That
You're
night.
welcome.
Man, that was great. It's been all downhill since, man. All right, so I feel like, I don't want to say obligated, but like, I'm a man of faith, you know what I'm saying? And still
Ain't
want to
nothing
like.
wrong with that.
Yo,
I am too.
Yo. And still to this day, man, like one of the dopest shows for me, it was back in 2011, and it was in small town Tennessee. And you know how it is in church. Like when you're like a rapper or a rock band. Like
no, I don't know what
actually, I have no idea.
Oh, okay, got you. Well, in those situations,
rock band. Yeah, I can kind of. I'm not. We weren't heavy metal, but we were rock. But
sure.
Yeah, I know nothing about being a black rapper.
Okay, that's fair.
So you go ahead and tell
fair.
the story.
Okay.
And I was a clown at one point, so I just made like balloon animals.
Yo. But like, okay, in my experience, in that situation, a lot of those churches, the youth pastor will love you. The youth group will love you, but nobody else in the church wants you there. Okay?
Those are the kind of churches, as somebody that was a youth pastor for over a decade, that's the kind of church that says, we love seeing teens here, we love what you're doing, but never truly support you. Even if they quote unquote, let something happen, they're not happy that it's happening.
Right, exactly.
I got yelled at because we had it was called Punk Rock Prom. It had been going on at Glory Land for years.
Yeah.
And these kids would come dressed up in like suits and dresses, but punk looking.
I like it.
Punk music, like all kinds of, and it was great. And then I was there. It was a Saturday night, and I was in the parking lot picking up Chipotle bags, cups, just trash through the whole parking lot until like 3 a.m.
That's punk.
Get back to church.
Super punk.
I get back to church because I'm the youth pastor. And I got to be there for class in the morning.
Yeah.
I was there like 8 a.m. Lived half hour away. Right. Somebody got mad because they found one cigarette butt.
Of course.
Out front of the church.
Of course.
So yes, I get it. I get that. I get that side of it. So go ahead.
So there was actually like people like in the church not wanting me to come, okay? But the youth pastor eventually won because the youth group kids, they all wanted me there, right? So I come to do this show, and they set up like a trailer bed in the front parking lot, and their church was on the main street, so there's always cars driving up and down it. So their idea was like, an outreach concert right there in the parking lot.
Yeah. People just kind of come in.
I've done that kind of shit before.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I get there, the youth group kids had T-shirts made, like the youth are amped, you know what I mean? And like there's literally like members of the church, like, elders and, people like that coming that were angry. Like one in the protest was like a silent protest, like sitting in chairs like this, like arms crossed.
I would say they protest with their glares.
Yeah, with their glares, right?
Exactly.
Daggers in their eyes. So I get up there, man, and I'm doing my whole set. I'm doing my whole show, right? And at every show, I always slow it down, and I always share my heart. I share like why I believe in Christ.
It's your testimony,
right? It's my testimony,
yeah.
right? And I offer that. I say like, I offer that to anybody that wants it. Altar call, if you will. And I kid you not, like cars. When I started stopping, talking, and sharing, cars were stopping and like getting out of cars and sitting and listening.
That's what's up.
And when I said, hey, if anybody wants this Jesus that I speak of, please come forward so we can pray for you. I'm kidding you. People were running across the streets, coming to the front of the stage. And then, like, I found, like, the local drunk, like, she was stumbling down the street. She came to the front of the stage and dropped to the altar. And at that point, all these angry people that were mad, they're seeing this, and now they're getting up and coming and laying hands and praying for people. And it was like I felt God move in that moment. And that's when I remember, like, it doesn't matter what this world thinks.
Man, you saw some Pharisees change.
Right. Yeah. Like, God can use anything and everything to his glory, right? And so, like, that will always be my favorite moment, man, because it was like there was people that didn't want me there. Like, they were, like, legit angry that I was there. And God still used that.
You
know what I mean?
With my kids, it was punk rock.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
God can't use punk rock music.
Right.
Why not? You're trying to tell me that you believe in a God that created the universe and turned water into wine and healed the lepers, but he can't use punk rock music to, like, reach somebody?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I need the water into wine power.
You want the water into whiskey. That's different.
Hey, water into any spirit's fine.
You know how
by
many
me.
drinks y'all could review if you had that ability?
You know how much money I could make? I'd be like, boom, wine, $5.
There we go.
But yeah, it is. It's cool. And on our show, Martel and I talked when we first talked about having a podcast that we don't want to be a polarizing show that people get angry at, but we both have shared our faith and what we believe.
Yeah.
And our background. So it's cool to have somebody on because we've had people on talking football.
Yeah.
We have people on that talking, that meet Derek we talk about. He runs a food truck, makes the best smoked brisket anywhere.
That's awesome.
I haven't made a brisket yet, so we don't know that.
Well,
but his is better than mine because I haven't made one yet.
I was going to say to date, his and GW's are the only two I've had that I can even compare to each other. Other than that, nobody touches them. But like we have people on for any reason. Martel
awesome.
has a friend on, just talk about childhood crap.
I love it.
So it's cool to see. It's cool to see not only an artist and how you're doing with COVID, and then to see somebody, a Christ follower. I hate the word. I don't hate it. I don't like the word Christian.
Mm-hmm. You hate it.
I try to. I kind of do hate it. And
hate's a strong word, but you do hate it.
Yeah, I don't. Well, the problem was for years it was used against me. People say, "Are you a Christian?" If I said, "Yeah," they'd already have me pegged, like in their mind.
I have you pegged in my mind.
And
it has nothing to do with being a Christian. He's just
we don't need to talk about how you've had me pegged before. And that's the other thing. People hear this or say, "Oh, you drink whiskey? How can you call yourself a Christian?" I'm like, I'm not getting smashed here. I drank like an ounce and a half of whiskey and reviewed it.
Yeah.
Now I've gotten smashed.
But I have
I
in
would
the
like
past.
to replay those episodes.
We did a 4-hour show.
Yeah, I did. I had more there than I intended to.
And we all had more than we intended to.
We intended to record an hour show, and it turned into a 4-hour debacle.
4-hour show, and I think 5 bottles of whiskey.
Woo! Yeah, that'll do it.
Not all 5 bottles.
Oh, okay.
Just sampling.
Sampling 5 different bottles.
I was about to say, how are y'all still alive?
We would not be at that point.
Yeah, it was.
But I've always gotten a lot of that same thing where we would show up to play. Even contemporary worship sometimes. They were hired for worship, and some people, you'd get that vibe off of them.
Wow.
And like, y'all paid us to travel here to play worship, and for the most part, now I won't say that anybody that hosted us was ever anything other than gracious and humble and kind.
Sure.
But I grew up on a Southern Gospel tour bus. I saw judgment come at that level. I played in rock bands. My GW once said, a church will hire a very, very bad Southern Gospel group before they'll hire a very, very good contemporary Christian band.
Wow.
And when he said that, I went, that's exactly right.
That's fascinating.
Because like our Southern Gospel group was pretty big back in the late 80s through the mid 90s. I mean, we had a bus. We were touring every week. And
the dream.
I don't know if it was that, but I was a kid, so I don't know much. But playing in contemporary music and playing rock music, and we covered. We went to Scioto Hills, Derek and I.
For real?
And a while ago, a few years back, he said, "Hey, they called me just to do a little concert after a service, doing acoustic." I said, "Want somebody to play with you?" Sure. I didn't ask about pay. Didn't care.
Yeah.
He picked me up in his truck. We head to Scioto Hills, which I know you're familiar with, and you've been there, right?
I haven't. I've heard, but I've never.
Oh, okay, I thought you had. Well, we'll have to get you there, but
that'd be awesome.
They didn't know what to expect. Derek thought we were going down to do worship. Mm-hmm. So we get down. The guy that booked us is a guy that went to college with Derek. Ended up, we get there, the phones don't work. We ask around, nobody knows where this guy is. Finally, we get somebody who knows, he didn't even come on the trip, he's home sick. Dude never told us.
Oh, gotcha.
So we're going, so we're going to do worship tonight, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they had a friend of mine, Rick May, was the drummer for DC Talk.
Oh, get out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
His boys' worship
I've seen
band.
them.
For real?
You down with the DC Talk?
I saw them back in like 93.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
94.
Awesome. 93, they were probably still doing rap, too.
Dang.
Because 01 was a Supernatural tour, I think. Yeah, anyway.
It doesn't matter. They came to our church.
His boy Connor is also friends of ours, and their band was doing worship for the week, for the camp for the weekend or whatever. Phenomenal. I mean, so much talent. There's like 8 or 10 of them, musicians, vocalists, lights, full production. They bring it all down. And we get down there, and I was like, Connor, what, you guys doing worship yet? And I'm like, Derek, what are we doing here? If they've got them doing worship for the service, what are we? He's like, I think it's after service. So we find out who's in charge of the camp. It's people we know. And we get to talk about it, and they're like, do whatever you want. And I said, now, hold on. This was the Saturday of the camp. I said, they had a small service this morning, right? Yeah. Full worship set? Yeah. I said, then they're having the service tonight. Yeah. Full worship set? Yeah. Do they want to do just worship again? And these people were like, hey, you all do whatever you feel called to do.
Oh, wow.
So me and Derek went outside and sat by an unlit fire pit in like 40-degree weather because it was like fall retreat or something. And Derek's like, all right, we're just going to do these songs. So we did like Radioactive and we did like all this like Jesus Derulo. So we did like the first half was like having fun songs. We did like some medleys and just because it's just the two of us. It was easy to make it up.
You should have done polka.
And then I'd do polka. The second half we did like some more worship, but we made sure it was songs they didn't do. But it's hard sometimes going into a situation, not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And knowing what you're going to do. And then to see what happens out of it, because after we got off stage and doing it was just that acoustic bass and Derek on the acoustic guitar. Everybody came up to us like, that was the greatest thing ever. And I'm sitting here going, like Connor said that. And all this. I'm like, y'all blew it out. You blew the doors off this place, for the service. So, yeah, but as an independent artist, I can't imagine doing what you do full time. I'll be honest.
Wow, man. Appreciate it.
It's got to be tough. I commend you for it.
That means a lot, man.
Especially through this crap. It's cool to hear how you're dealing with it. You seem very positive. I know the racial stuff hits you hard.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So is that something you still, it's 2020. Is that something you still, and I've told the story before about DJ, the drummer with Derek. We went down to play at Cider Hills and we were taking back roads and I made a joke like, hey DJ, what if we broke down here and I need you to go knock on the door? And DJ's like, oh man, don't play about that. We ran in the corner and there's this Jeep with, instead of a ragtop, it had a giant rebel flag. The house had a rebel flag flying, all this. Right. And he looked at it, and when he saw that, I looked in the rearview mirror because I'm driving, and I saw him. He's looking, it's funny, he looks over and he sees those two flags. And I mean, you could tell these people weren't playing.
Right.
And I saw his face change, his demeanor.
Yeah.
And I was like, you okay? He's like, bro, don't even joke right now.
Yeah.
And that's the first time that I went, and this is like 2015 or 16, but I'm like, this dude still worries about that. I don't. And that's when I really started taking notice of how my Mexican friends, my black friends, here today we're having a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
But you may be on the road tomorrow and deal with this crap.
Right.
So is there anything you want to say on that, or how's that affect your traveling, your ministry?
Man, so that's a good question, man. And I don't have it all well laid out where I can sound like I'm doing a TED Talk.
I want a TED Talk.
Yeah,
I want what comes from your heart.
Give you my feelings, right? I'll say this. Most of my crowds are in the white church, right? So often in my concerts, I'm the only person there or one of three that look like me, okay? So when racism, racism's always existed, you know what I mean? But every once in a while, we'll go through the stretch where it's on mainstream. Like 5 years ago, you had Michael Brown, and you had several cases like that. So it's in mainstream media. It's all over social media. So I saw this 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So here we are, 5 years later, and it's all over social media. It's all over the news again.
It's got people fighting against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been here before. 5 years ago, I was younger. I was like, put your head down. Don't say anything that's going to make people uncomfortable. The right bullet things to say. Well, Jesus is in control, which he is. But, it's like, the right things to say. Don't talk about your personal hurt. Don't talk about your personal struggles. Don't make anyone uncomfortable, and you'll be fine. And that was some of the toughest times of my life.
Biting your tongue.
Right, biting my tongue. And so this year, when I saw it happening again, I was like, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
I'm going to, even though I know I'm going to be talking to a room full of people that can't relate to my personal experience, I need to share that experience because there's so many people that don't understand what's happening, right? Mm-hmm. So when I started doing that, the people I'm talking to, these are people who have booked me, people who have welcomed me in their home, people I've had meals with, people who have called me family, right? So I'm thinking,
people you've been on a podcast
right,
with.
People you've been on a podcast with. Well, you know what I'm saying? So usually people can kind of hide behind, well, if I can't put a face to racism, it's not real.
Yeah.
But
because they don't know anybody deals with it.
Right. So I was like,
they work with a black guy or a black girl, they know one, but they don't interact with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I can give them a face, not some, whatever, an actual face, maybe they'll understand.
Like, y'all have known me. You've booked me here before. I was here 2 years ago.
Right.
This is what I'm dealing with.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought everybody would stand up with me like, yeah, okay. But it was the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. I've had so many conversations offline, man, and people arguing with me and, wanting to deflect and, well, what were you doing in the scenario? And maybe you interpreted things wrong. Well, explain to me how I can interpret this wrong. 5 years ago, I go to a Thanksgiving dinner. It's with a white family. They're good friends of mine. We're on our way over there. And they say, oh, by the way, just so you know, my brother-in-law is a racist. And I'm like,
which that's when you want to hear that, when you're on the way
to the place where you can't get out of the situation.
Known you,
where you can't cancel. I got sick. I can't come, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, all right. Sure, but maybe, if he just, gets to know me, it'll be all good.
Maybe he's never really interacted with anybody
Right.
that looks different than him.
Right.
Yeah.
I kid you not, from the second I walked through the door, if I was in a room that he was in, he would immediately leave the room. He refused to be in the same room as a black man. Didn't know my name, never heard my voice, didn't know my background. It didn't matter I graduated from college. It didn't matter I've never been to prison. It didn't matter that I'm a Christian. It didn't matter that I like to wear cardigans and khaki sweaters.
Jeep
None of
from
that.
State Farm.
Yeah.
You got cowboy boots you love.
Cowboy boots. None of that.
That's what I love
mattered.
about you.
Yeah, I
like when people
appreciate
say
that.
Christian rapper, they still think rapper.
Right.
Your posts are hilarious,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
You're
Oh,
like,
appreciate
hey, here's Carlton again. You got like a new sweater
Right,
you're
you know what
excited
I'm saying?
about.
I'm just going to be me, you know what I mean?
But that's it.
But so none of that mattered. All he saw was my black skin, and he refused to be in the same room as me. And I'm like, guys, like this is still happening.
Yeah. It's not just happening in the media.
Yeah.
This is in somebody's home
Right.
who you know, and
Right.
you called them your family.
Yeah.
You love these people.
And
It's not like somebody just booked you and didn't know you or
Right.
was trying to be cool or we're going to have a rapper come
Right.
so the kids will like it. This is in
Exactly.
somebody's home.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here
Okay.
real quick. Maybe you reminded him of his dope dealer
Why the dope dealer got to be the black guy?
because I used to drive one around. And he
Wait,
did
what's
want
the
to
guy that
interact.
left the room? Martell.
Hold on.
Like, I knew you looked familiar.
I have never left the
I
room.
knew it. I knew it.
No, but yeah, that's funny.
That
First
is
off,
funny. That is.
because I was
He
like,
just didn't want to call you the wrong name, or you call him out for,
and I'm sure you've been called all kinds of things, man.
That was another thing that came out, and I think that's why I started to get so bent out of shape because, like, you're told that the church is supposed to be a place for refuge, where your brothers and sisters are, right?
Yeah.
Like, this
All are welcome.
Right. This
Yeah.
all are welcome.
Which Martell can attest.
not
aren't
all
welcome.
churches
Right,
will welcome
right.
everybody.
Because he grew up in church, now he has no desire to go to church.
I
I
feel
would
that.
love to Martell to come to church with me, but I'm also respecting who he is.
Right.
I don't even want to go with my in-laws at Christmas. So
Yeah. So, but it's because of people like that.
Right. So during this time, like, I guess some people felt guilty. So I've had story after story being told to me, like, when you came to our church the first time I saw you, I was afraid of you. And I didn't want to come near you. But the worst one for me was like one dude, he was a worship leader, and he was like, man, I just got to confess to you. When you came to our church, man, you came in, you were high-fiving people, you were super friendly. He said the second you turned your back to start setting up your show, staff members started saying racist stuff about you the second you turned your back. Dang. So I'm just like, I'm not even safe in the church.
I mean, when you came through Randy's front door, I wanted to run.
It's
That's
still
just because
happening.
that's just because you're taller than I am.
It's still happening.
No, it's it's funny. I was just picturing you trying to run around my house.
I know. Just like, there's nowhere to go.
Oh, you didn't tell me he was a black rapper.
Shit.
Look, if he's rapping and he ain't Eminem, he's black. Otherwise, he ain't good.
I was hoping he was the Great White Hope.
Man, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, because I remember. Here's one thing.
Yeah.
I don't put up with that crap. And here's the story. When I found out it's still happening, I was working just a few years ago. This was 2016.
Well, a few years ago, it would be
17?
at least 3.
So, shut up.
Unless you're doing beer math, and then it's like 12.
Yeah, you were right. Just a couple.
Yeah.
But I was working building a Coughlin dealership in Chillicothe. I was a commercial electrician. And there's this guy. I'm not going to say any names. He got fired later. I found out, but big old tall dude, kind of looked like a duck walking around, kind of pear shaped.
It walks like a duck,
But he was
acts
from,
like a duck. It must be
it's
a duck.
He was, but he was from a small town outside of Lima, Ohio,
Lima.
and Lima, whatever.
I don't know.
It's Lima.
I know.
But we had to pull wires, which means there's conduit running underground.
Yeah.
We have to go all the way to the front of the property where the sign's going to be for the dealership and pull from the main box.
Yeah.
So what you do when you do overrun, it was like 300 feet, I want to say. That was a long run, and we're pulling, I think it was like 6 or 7 wires.
Yeah.
What you'll do is you'll take a piece of EMT, a metal pipe, go with 2 people, and you shoot the mouth through, which is a little sponge. It has a rope tied to it, light rope. Shoot through the conduit to the other side using a shop vac. Those people tie it to the wires, and you pull it through by wrapping the rope around the pole and pulling it.
Yeah.
So it takes 2 in. So he grabs a pipe. We start walking out there to get this job done.
Okay.
And we're just walking, not really even talking. And it's all dusty or muddy or whatever. We're out it's a construction site. We're walking along, just shooting the breeze, and finally goes, "Hey, you a racist?"
Huh.
Just blatantly, nobody but me and him in earshot. And I went,
He's got to be talking to me.
I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Are you a racist?" I said, "What have I done or said that's made you think I'd be a racist?" He goes, "Oh, no, nothing. I was just wondering." I was like, and I'd only been in this company a few weeks at this point.
That's an odd question anyway.
Yeah. I like this dude I've worked with like twice.
Wow.
And he's like, "You a racist?" And so I'm sitting there going, man, did I say or do something? Because all white people on the job site at that point, there's only a small crew. And I went,
Damn white people.
man, why would he go? I started like questioning myself.
Yeah.
And we take a few more steps. And he goes, well, I was just going to say, I said, what were you going to say? Why do you think I was racist? And he swung the pipe around. And he said, inward beater. And I stopped him dead in his tracks. I said, listen, mother effer. Language is another thing that don't bother me that much because I figure if you're going to say something, you might as well say something.
Right.
But I said, listen, mother effer. I said, I don't know what prompted you to think you could just say that to me, but I don't ever want to hear you talk like that again around me.
Wow.
Well, I didn't know. I said, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I understand what you've gone through.
Yeah.
But there's no call for that in the world because to me, that's the kind of attitude that breeds hatred for anybody.
Right.
That's different.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, this dude don't know me from Adam. And he just asked if I'm racist and starts throwing around racial slurs.
Right.
And it was, like I said, this was 2016 or 17. And at that point, I went, this crap's still happening.
Yeah.
This was after I had the thing with DJ, and I'm thinking of my buddy going, this is the kind of crap he has to worry about.
Yeah, it's real, man.
And it just like blew my mind that he would just be so bold and brazen to come out and even try and make it like it was a joke.
Right.
Like, not cool, dude.
Yeah.
So I told my buddy in the company, I said, hey, I don't think, like, you handle him how you want.
Yeah.
I'm not like filing a complaint, but I don't want to work. Plus, he was an idiot. But
That didn't help.
He almost got me shocked later. But
Jeez,
yeah,
man.
like, it's a long story on that one.
Yeah.
But I was like, I just don't want to deal with this dude.
Right.
So
Wow, man.
I can imagine the stuff you deal with.
Yeah, man. And I think people, and one thing I think people think about is like, when we think about racism, we think about just sometimes it happening to a person of color, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't think about like the after effect of that, right? So when people tell me when they see me, I mean, I like they're automatically afraid of me, or they assume I'm a bad person, or they assume I'm this thug or gangster or whatever, when it couldn't be more the opposite. Like I cry at the drop of a dime. Like I cry at a Folgers commercial, you know what I mean? Like hot pink is my favorite color. Like Carlton Banks is my hero, right? So, but my thing is like, I've always like loved people.
But I mean,
you know,
your appearance, you're a tall dude and you're black.
Yeah.
So that's all they know about you.
That's why I wanted to run.
Exactly. So here's the thing though. Like, I understand that like people see a black man and because of racism, implicit bias, you name it, they see monster, right? And what sucks for me is like, since I was a kid, I've always had a heart. Like I've always just wanted to help people. And it's at a point now in my life where like, if I see like an elderly person that's struggling to get their groceries into their car because they don't have the strength, or I see a kid that just fell on the ground.
You want to laugh.
That too. Afterwards. But like,
you gotta laugh first.
You love
exactly. But it's gotten to a point where most times I can't even go over there and help because I know somebody's going to take it the wrong way, and somebody's going to think, "Oh, that black man's trying to rob that person."
Yeah.
That black man's trying to rape that woman.
This is what when people say there's no such thing as systematic racism. Racism doesn't exist, or well, not everybody's racist. Yeah, not everybody's racist, but not everybody's rich or poor or fat or skinny. Not everybody's a lot of things.
Right.
That's the kind of crap that you just said. Because I've seen elderly women. I've seen an old dude fall and helped him up. I've never once thought that somebody's going to think I was robbing them.
Yeah.
Not once. So for you to describe it that way, it actually just blows my mind. That's not.
It's bummed me out so many times. You know, I mean, so many times. Because that's not my nature. That's not my heart.
Right.
But I have to think twice a lot of times, especially when I'm in a small town or it's getting late in the evening. And just to have to just keep walking or go the opposite direction.
You're good here. My neighbor across the alley is black, so you're home.
Perfect. We're straight. We're good. We're good.
Only one I know of on this block, but you're good.
Actually, there's a sensor in every black man. You can tell there's a black man in a 5-mile radius. I already knew he was. I already knew. It's like a spidey sense.
I have so many other jokes popping in my head right now.
But anyway, so that's all I got on that.
No, I appreciate you saying that because in those posts that you put out were the ones that mattered to me because I saw posts from a lot of people, and I saw people share a lot of things, and I watched some videos that other black men had shared, but I didn't know them.
You just merged two words together.
Which ones?
Black men.
Black men. Now, how did I merge them together?
You went black men.
Black men. Yes.
Sound like some's last name.
Yeah, I just thought that. I was like,
it's like a blacksmith.
What's your name?
Blackman.
It's Joseph Blackman.
Well, maybe that's what I was talking about. So Mr. Blackman.
He's actually Latino.
He's white.
He's white. Yeah, white guy.
My favorite. I had a professor at DeVry. His name was Mr. Brown. He taught one of the math courses, one of the basic ones. Always wear brown suit. Only use brown dry erase markers, which I didn't know existed until I went to DeVry.
Right.
Oh, he's playing on that name.
And he was black.
Oh, yeah. He's on it.
He's a black dude. So finally one day, one of the other black guys said, "Hey, Mr. Brown," said, "Why do you only wear brown suits? Why do you only use black erase, dry erase markers? You know, all this stuff." Yeah. And he said something along the lines because it matched my skin tone. He goes, "Dang, I thought you was black." It was just the dumbest thing. But that, I was like, and then I'm sitting there losing it, and all the other white people were like, "Can we laugh?" I was like, "Dude, that was hilarious."
Yeah.
Yes, you laugh at that. That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Oh, sorry, I got real loud on the mic. My bad.
Oh, no, you're all right.
You're good. I don't even look. He could be turning me up or down. I don't pay attention.
I just turned him all the way down.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But yeah, so but it's kind of cool to see some. You're probably one of the more unique guests we've had because we've not had independent artists.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
And we haven't had somebody that has to work 1099 independent in that field through COVID. We've talked with other people about how they're dealing with COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then dealing with the racial stuff, man, that's what I kind of also want to touch on. I didn't want to make it a big deal, but I want to share your heart because
for sure.
You're different and seeing my other black friends that live around here and work around here and all this and that, they're still in some kind of a bubble. Mm-hmm. You see differences in different states and different regions. So that's why I think you bring a unique perspective on it. So is there a place, and like you said, small towns, even like Circleville, it probably feels a little different than if you're in a bigger city, I would guess.
Well,
I don't know.
It's a small town versus a big city.
And
so it would be a little different.
But I was going to say, can you compare, is the South more tolerant or less tolerant typically? Like a small town, southern town, not Atlanta or any, Atlanta's like a big hip hop hub, right?
That's a safe space for black people.
So,
Atlanta, Memphis.
If you hear banjos, you just keep driving until you hit Atlanta.
Yeah.
You're good.
If you get to ATL, you'll be straight. That's a safe zone, safe haven. Yeah, man, I actually spent a good part of quarantine in the South. Actually, and I inboxed you. It's wild, man, like with all this going on. Like I like to run in the mornings. Well, I don't like to run, but I have to run. Because
otherwise you get back to looking like me.
You look. I think you're a beautiful man. You know what I mean?
I am a whole lot of.
I think Damac just hit on you.
I mean, that's fine. I'll take it. Now I've been hit on by two people.
Yeah. But in the small town I was in Tennessee, like I woke up every morning and I would run. I go for a jog, and I jog past this park, and there's this statue I ran past every day of Nathan Bedford Forrest, who was a Grand Wizard for the KKK. Fort Pillow,
that's who
where
Forrest
they killed,
Gump was named after.
Yeah. Fort Pillow, they killed 300 Union soldiers, a lot of them black. After they surrendered. Just not a hero in my opinion. And the only thing that says on the statue is it said his name, the years he was in the Confederacy, and it said remembering our Southern heroes.
Wow.
And so I'm like, as a black man who has to run past that statue every day, this dude is literally, we elevate people when we put on statues. We are celebrating these people.
They're on a pedestal.
Right, they're literally on a pedestal. And I sat down with the pastor there, and he didn't see the big deal in it. And I'm just like, this hero, I say in quotations, didn't consider me a human being. I wasn't a human considered this person. I was less than human. You know what I mean? And so the Southern culture is like, well, we need these statues so we don't forget them. Well, I've never.
No, you don't need that statue.
Yeah, I've never been to Germany, but I'd be hard pressed to think there's Hitler statues.
Your sandals and socks say otherwise.
I love everything comes full circle on this. I love that.
We do a lot of callbacks on our jokes.
I love that. I might be wrong, but I don't think there's probably Hitler statues all over.
And that's I think when you messaged me was like, hey, I wanted to give you my input because I'm not sure if I read you right. And I thank you for that because so many people just lashed out at me before trying to get what I was even saying.
I'll just do that just because.
Just I expect it from
a
you.
regular Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I mean, I get up. First thing I do is open up Facebook and I look at Randy's.
I'm like, what can I do?
I'm like, okay, where's the non-Mimi crap?
Yeah.
Where's the one post?
Yeah.
But yeah, when I shared an article about statues being torn down, didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Shared an article about Christopher Columbus statue getting torn down.
Yeah.
People flipped their lid. I got private messages. I got all kinds of, I mean, the public stuff you could see.
Yeah.
And yeah, you messaged me and I was like, hey, you know, I know you and I want you to know my heart.
Yeah.
But I was of the camp that my biggest thing is screw who it's of. Taxpayer dollars paid for that.
Yeah.
Real talk,
We're
real
talking
talk.
about bad health care and public education and roads, and we're worrying about statues. Like, come on! But my thing was, people were like, "Well, they're just erasing history." I said, "When have you ever in America seen a statue of Hitler or Mussolini? Like, I know who these guys are.
Right.
I haven't even seen a statue of Leonardo da Vinci, but I know who he is.
Right.
I've got the basics at least. So I was like, you can still put Nathan Bedford Forrest in a textbook.
Right.
You can put him in a museum and what he did, and we can still talk about that dude.
Right.
And I think we should.
Sure.
But yeah, this whole statue thing, like when I think statues, like Rocky Balboa, cool, have a statue of him.
They do have a statue
I
of
know,
him.
that's what I'm saying.
They do.
Well, and with that, so with the whole statue thing, a lot of the statues, if I read it correctly, were put up during the civil rights movement, and they were cheap. Like they were literally just thrown up basically in the face of MLK. So it was just like
Get it done quick.
Let's put this up to elevate the, more so in the South than anywhere else, just to kind of throw it back in his face that, no, we're going to, and now it's become take them down, take them all down. Personally, I could care less.
Right.
I mean,
well, here's my thing.
The only thing I don't like about it is it's my money taking them down, but
it was also not our money, but our
it's taxpayer. Yeah. I mean, but tear them all down. I could care less.
Well, here's my, and so many people said they're erasing history, and I said, if that statue is removed, if Christopher Columbus is removed from Columbus State University or Community College's campus, will it impact your life in a negative way?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you know, and these were, most of them were Christians, okay, Christ followers I was talking to. If you know that it is affecting somebody like you with the statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest, why not? Why would you not want it torn down for that person?
Right.
If you say that you are loving, if you care about everybody, Christian or not, Martell says, he's like, I don't go to church or all this, but he's still one of the people that would say, it's bothering him and not me. I don't care. Do it.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Get rid of it. And so I'm saying, why are you so against it, knowing that it's hurting them? Well, I don't think they should be hurt. And I said, it's not up to you to decide. You don't get to pick what hurts somebody else. And I would defend them saying they don't get to say what affects you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care where you're at on the spectrum with this. There's
Towards
a petition.
the white end.
Well, there's a petition right now to rename Columbus Flavortown from Guy Fieri.
He was born here.
They was born here.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Please let it happen. Rename it Flavortown. He gets a statue.
As long as it ain't taxpayer dollars.
It can be taxpayer money. He gets a statue.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah.
I hate big government. Now, here's the thing. If you want to do that and do like a fundraiser, a crowdsource campaign, I might even throw in on that, but don't use my taxpayer dollars for a freaking statue.
He gets a statue. I don't care how it happens.
And the funny
But
thing
it
is,
has to be in color. It can't be.
Oh, you can't Guy Fieri.
You can't do it just in gray concrete. It has to be
literally. It looks like a sidewalk.
Yeah, it needs to be done in.
It
color.
doesn't even look like marble. It just looks like a sidewalk. Matter of fact, they just use old concrete pieces busted up and glued together.
Whatever, abstract.
But yeah, I and you're right. That's the thing. I've been wanting to have you on. I've been wanting to have DJ on. I've got a buddy who is a white police officer that has agreed to come on too.
Yeah.
Because in the protest after the backlash, there were people like his family and him, and that people were yelling at him about it. He goes, "Yo, I'm mad about what happened too," but because he's a white male police officer, people hated him all of a sudden. So he was going, and he never posts on Facebook ever. He just never has. He's always thought it was dumb. But I've talked to him in person, personal conversations because we grew up together. And I said, "Hey, how you doing, man? How you handling this? Are you sitting downtown Columbus where all this crap's happening?" And he was kind of saying yes and no, and sometimes I do this, but I've been okay, and I've been pretty safe, and all this. But I want to get his perspective too, because what I see is hatred. whether that's hatred for somebody's skin color or for their job or whatever, I see hatred. Now, there are people that have problems with the police system in general.
Sure.
It doesn't matter if it's a good person. They're still enforcing crappy laws or backing up crappy people or whatever.
Sure.
That's a different discussion.
Right.
But I like hearing about people's personal experiences because I can't sit here and say, well, you as a white cop should do this and you as a black rapper should do that because I can assume all I want. But until I sit across the table or my desk, I feel powerful here. I have the desk.
Is this
here.
what I look like?
You look less fat than I probably do. But yeah, usually you're at like Command Central and I'm in the chair.
Yeah.
Which the chair I sit in at your house is pretty comfortable, so I like it. But
Yeah, this is different sitting on this side.
But it's cool to sit down with. I want people to understand we should be sitting down and having conversations in person with people.
Right.
Because on Facebook, like my buddy, my aunt on the statue thing, her and I were, she kept posting on that, and I was just asking questions. And I was even frustrated. In one of the posts she said that kind of got me. She said, am I not allowed to have an opinion? I said, no, you are. I'm only asking questions because I'm trying to understand.
Right.
I post some things on Facebook not to fight, and some people say, you post controversial stuff to get a reaction. I want not a reaction. I want a conversation.
Right.
I used to do that.
And a civil one.
Right.
I used to just say shit just to get a
Stuff,
reaction.
the stuff that I post that I think will get a reaction are usually the headlines or something, and I'll put like, "Ope."
Oh yeah.
Like if I put "Ope," it's like usually I'm expecting like this is going to set somebody off, but it's not wrong. But if I just share an article, I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just saying here's some information, and I kind of just let it sit and see what people say. I'm all for people disagreeing with me. Martell and I, we've made a podcast on disagreeing.
Yeah.
Him
For the most part.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, we agree with a lot, but when we disagree, we just hash it out and then we go, okay, what's next?
Right.
And that's the end of it.
Sometimes we don't even hash it out. We just go, what's next?
Sometimes just, GW is one of my best friends, and that buffoon will say a lot of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I love him to death. Him and I disagree on so much. But at the end of the day, I'm not judging him based on who he votes for or whether or not he likes statues. No, I judge him for way more than that.
I only judge people for who they're voting for.
Yeah, I know you do.
That's what I.
That's why you got back on Facebook during an election year.
Yeah, that's why I came back.
So you know who to hate more.
I say that all the time. I'm like, man, like, you know, my favorite color is hot pink. Like, I tuck my polo into my khakis. Like, there's so many better reasons to hate me than the color of my skin. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Lakers fan. You know, like, there's so many better reasons to hate me.
I mean,
you know?
I'm not.
I didn't know
for
you was a Lakers fan.
Yeah, I'm
not
a
for
big
tucking
Lakers.
Well,
polos.
this is over. You can leave. I don't even follow NBA anymore. I don't even care. I just like mess with people. Dude, politics, sports, and religion.
Yeah.
I said those are three combos you can start in any room of people, whether it's 5 people or 50.
Yeah.
And you'll get arguments.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
My sports team's better than yours.
Yep.
My religion's right and yours is wrong. Or my view of the same God is right and yours is wrong.
Yep.
And my politician's better than yours.
Well, that's why.
Period.
When we started the show, that was like the two things. We were like, no religion, no politics.
Oh wow.
And we've only done mild sports.
And
wow.
yeah, we've done miles. I mean, we have talked religion. I mean, we've talked about it today.
Yeah, I was saying we broke that rule today.
But we are not. Well,
It's not a
even-
rule. It's just
okay.
we don't want to talk religion where it's a controversial thing where people feel like, oh, Randy's a Christian, so I'm not, so he thinks he's better than me. And we don't want people to tune out based on preconceived notions from crappy experiences they've had from the church or from the temple or wherever it's coming from.
Because I've had 2 crappy experiences through church.
Really?
And let's see. So I've told it before. So I grew up in a church. Mm-hmm. I mean, not like doing all this other stuff and doing this, that, and the other, and being. But so I grew up when I was a kid. Grew up in a church, and then I moved. Grew up in another church. Mm-hmm. Actually, I take it back. Grew up in a church. Had friends that were Jewish, and for 3 years went to temple every Saturday. Mm-hmm. Spoke Hebrew. Wow. Went to their version of Sunday school on Saturday mornings. Read the Torah, did, the whole thing. Yeah. Had no issues with it. Moved to another city. Moved to Toronto. Went to church there, did that. Became a member of that church. Was, doing youth groups and going to church camp and doing all that stuff. And then finally I just kind of was over, like, the politicking.
You were over the righteousness, the kind of
the establishment.
Yeah.
So it
wasn't so much the relationship with Christ; it was the people that are.
It's the people. It's the politicking. It's the establishment. And now today, we'll just call it agnostic. Who knows? I mean,
yeah, I'm with you. I got you.
We could be this could be a simulation like the Matrix. Our galaxy could be in a tiny marble being played, by some alien kid,
like the Men in Black.
Yeah, like Men in Black.
Yeah.
Men
I
in Black
watched
style.
that the other day.
I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a higher power. Just don't know what it is, and that's where I'm kind of at today.
Yeah.
It's very much I have a visceral.
Look at you and your big words.
I know, right? Hatred for mega churches. The money making machine that is a mega church. Like my church was small. I have so much disdain for World Harvest, for what's his name? The dickhead that's always on TV.
Which one?
Well, I know.
I can't with y'all.
Drew Carey?
No, not that one. The one that does the Sunday morning service every day.
Man, I don't
On
know because I'm in the
NBC.
same.
He's got like some crazy mega church down in Texas that has like over 1 million followers. And
with the smile.
Joel
Osteen.
Joel, yeah. There's actually
Prosperity gospel. The more you give me, the more God will give you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a Twitter account that's I think it's called Joel Dickstein or something like that on Twitter. It takes all of his tweets and removes the word God and puts dick in front instead of. They're funny. They are absolutely hilarious.
It actually sounds funny.
We'll have to. I'll have you have to pull it up and read some of them.
I'm dead.
But
right now.
it'll just be like
You didn't know you were getting into.
Yeah,
did you?
No, I had no idea what this.
and
You're welcome.
I don't bring it up to be controversial. I bring it up because it's hilarious.
Well, there's a.
And this is a satire show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
this
But
show-
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just out at this point. Like I don't not care, nor do I.
You're
care.
not out. The old white hairs would say you're searching or seeking. It's
not
so
even
funny
doing
when
that.
people, when the old folks would be like, I've got my grandson, he's seeking, but no, your grandson's paying somebody $300 to drive to a drug deal.
Yeah, well, I'm
That's what
not
your
doing that
grandson's
either. So
No, man, one of the things that got me, I've always heard the term bless their heart, right?
Yeah,
I know you've heard
Oh,
that.
bless your heart.
Especially down in the South.
Bless your heart.
Somebody wants to talk bad about somebody, they'd say, "Oh man, I can't believe I heard they're sleeping so and so. Bless their heart." Bless their-
Oh,
no,
yeah.
man, just gossip. So I heard a new one. I used to do maintenance for these 2 apartment buildings that were 63 and older age senior living, all self living, but you had to be 63. It was a government thing. And the one property manager, Connie, black lady from the South End, loved Connie so much because she did not put up with crap. Like the old racist white folks and that, especially some of these ladies,
Awesome.
she would put them in their place. And I'd sit in her office and just grin. I wouldn't say a word. And they'd say, "What?" I say, "Hey, I'm just maintenance." I'd just sit there. But no, Connie, what you have to do in that is you've got to take applications in the order they come in. If they meet certain qualifications by the state, they get the next available apartment.
Okay.
If they don't, they don't. It was very cut and dry. There was no, well, I can let them in because I feel bad for them. They have a sob story. It was a government thing. You have to do this, and if you do, you're next on the list. If the person skips, if you get skipped, that person loses their job and the company gets in some big crap. So, like, there was no favorites. You couldn't play favorites.
Yeah.
Well, after I'd started working there shortly, one of these old ladies said, "Hey, what do you think about them folks moving in?" So, what do you mean them folks? Now, at this point, there were 63 units in this building, I think.
Okay.
I would say maybe 5 of them were black, everybody else was white.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe. So I said, "What do you mean, them folks?" I said, ever since Connie had started at 6-8 months before I'd started there. Ever since she started here, seems to be an awful lot more black people.
Wow.
I said, "Well, to get in here, you're on a list. If you make the qualifications, you stay on that list. If you don't, you're bumped. You can't live here."
All right.
Well, it just seems like I said, no. She said, I said, the end. Like I'm a maintenance guy. I was trying to go to fix something somewhere. And I heard the racist version of "bless their heart." She said, and I quote, "Well, now we're all God's children, but, and I stopped her right there. I said, don't even say what you're thinking. Wow. I stopped her and I walked away. Now, we're all God's children. I said, don't say we're all God's children, but and then say something about black people. Like, you can't say we're all God's children, but I'm a better God's child. I grew up singing red and yellow, black and white. Yeah. Where all presidents say, which a lot of people have used it. Yeah. But when she's like, well, now we're all God's children, but I was like, whoa. Yeah. And later I was thinking about it because I was like, that was kind of messed up, dude.
Man, that's
But later when I thought about how she said it, I started laughing. And I was like, that's the racist version of saying bless their heart.
Yeah.
I was like,
wow,
man,
that's deep, man.
Or it's her old lady version of saying, no, it's okay, I got a black friend. But,
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was talking this morning with Derek and a couple other people on our worship team. They're in the second service. We'll just sit in the green room while the pastor preaches because we already heard it. And we're down there talking about something. And I said, I got accused of being racist once. And, you can't just say, well, I've got a black friend, so I'm not racist. Or no, it's homophobe. Yeah, no, Beth's home with the boys. They're going to change the head to our moms. But somebody called me like a homophobe or something.
I got that.
I've had gay friends, and they've come and gone in my life. And there's a kid that used to be in one of my youth group that came out. Yeah. Cool. Still stay in touch with him when I can. Love the guy. I'm not going to shun him because he decided to say, hey, I'm gay. He turned from the church because of the way he was treated from that. So I said, hey, just so you know, like, we cool? He's like, dude, you've never showed me anything other than God's love. Like, we're cool. So I'm like, cool. Just so you know, I'm here. Yeah. Because I know you get a lot of crap. But somebody called me a homosexual one time, and I went, prove it. And they stopped and looked at me. I said, like, I could sit here and say, no, I've got a gay buddy. But it's so much easier because now it's on you to prove I'm racist rather than me to prove I'm not.
Right.
I don't have to defend myself. I can prove it. And I'll just walk away. Like, you let me know when you have some hard facts. So that's my new thing. If somebody's like, you're racist, I'm just going to, like, prove it.
I like that.
I'm not even going to mention.
I'm taking that home.
I just got so tired of having to defend myself. Well, I got a black friend because that's so cliche. Like, that doesn't mean maybe I like you, but I don't like, and I can say here, I worked inner city Columbus doing maintenance for 3 years. That's awesome. I walked up to a house where they're shooting dice and there's guns and drugs laying out. Like, nice. And sometimes I saw that happen with black people in one part of town and with white people in the other part of town. Oh, wow. So, for me, it didn't become a racism thing. It was an inner city thing. Yeah. I saw Mexicans doing stuff. Like, I just saw people
making tacos.
Living. Oh, dude, there was a taco truck down near Mount Vernon Avenue. It stayed there year round. They just shut down during the winter, but dude, slamming tacos. Little Mexican lady, looked like a little Mexican grandma cooking up. She's like, what you want, baby? And I tell her, oh, love it. Man. But so I just
love tacos.
I just got so tired of trying to defend myself because people want to point at, I guess, me or Martell or other white people and say you're racist, or they want to point at anybody and say you're homophobic because you're a Christian. You hate gays. I don't hate gays.
Right.
Not all of them.
No, it's not a gay thing though.
It's a personality.
Actually, I've told people I don't hate anybody. I dislike a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh no, there's people out there that I hate.
Oh, I know. Like I said, you need Jesus. You need Jesus.
So speaking of that, I found the Twitter account. It's called Joel Dongstein.
Oh my!
So
if you're a super conservative Christian that's a fan of Damac that's listening,
turn this
and you
down.
haven't tuned off yet.
This would be the
time. This is a good one though. This because they're jokes, people. They're jokes. Don't waste your time worrying. Your dick is on a throne. His promise is to work out. His plan is for you. Is his plan for your? I can't read for shit. Let me start over.
That's a common occurrence.
Yeah, that's common. Don't waste your time worrying. Your dick is on the throne. He's promised to work out his plan for your life. His plan is better than your plan. So they just replaced the word God with dick.
Okay, first of all,
someone responded.
Oh no.
Mine hits the side every time I push. His plan better be rewarding.
Nope.
I hate it when it touches the toilet.
Let it go. This is the kind of stuff.
This is what we do.
You'll find more often.
Yeah. I couldn't go one show without doing something.
He said, let it go.
Not touch it. I've been trying to keep, for the Mac's sake, I'm trying to keep this one, I guess today's standards is PG-13, but back when we were growing up, this would have been rated R conversation.
Oh, easily. Yeah, easily.
But
I've cussed more than 7 times.
I want you definitely have.
You get one F-bomb, right, on the PG-13.
Back then you didn't.
Oh yeah, no, back then you could, yeah.
Was it one?
Yeah, you
were allowed one.
I thought it was so much. It was like no nudity.
No, now it's
and then now it's like rated. If there was any nudity at all, it's rated R. Now it's just like you pull up Netflix.
That's normal.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's rated M for mature.
Yeah.
Well, some have watched that rated PG-13 or R even. I'm like, that seems a little bit
slip a nip, whatever.
Well, I do that just because my butt crack shows more than anything.
It's like the story you told last week.
Yeah,
Huck.
No, Judd
or Judd in your underwear.
Yeah, my I had underwear the whole house sitting on my edge of the couch upstairs, and didn't realize I had a hole in my underwear. So my boys was hanging out, and my 1-year-old comes over and looks down, looks at me all quizzically. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, and he went boop. just kind of tagged the left one a little. So I told that full story last week's episode. So those underwear got thrown away.
I think it was last week.
Thrown out that day.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Last week or 2 weeks ago.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I cannot relate to that story, but it's very funny.
You are a independent Christian rapper.
Yep,
we covered that.
Who is black.
Yep,
but loves all things. What? Wait, what?
You're black?
What? You're black?
The jig's up, guys.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
I thought it was a bodysuit. One of them morph suits, but brown. I mean, where do you think it's going to take you, man? Where do you think life's going to take you?
You know,
we're going back to that 10-year question.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't even have to answer. You can say, I don't know.
Yeah. You know, like once again, like I said, like so much is unknown right now, but I do. You know, we always talk about the independent aspect of it, like, you know, of funding things, you know, to keep the thing running. Like, absolutely, which is important, you know what I'm saying? But, like, the reason, like, you're an independent artist is because you're also an artist, right? You love to create. And with, you know, 27 cancellations, right? I usually fund all my own production. You know, everything that I put out, I funded myself, you know, everything.
When I first met you were in, like, a beat-up old van.
You remember?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh, dude.
I remember that van.
You remember Ron Burgundy?
Yeah. I can picture you rolling up in that. I was like, dude, I know the struggle.
Yeah. So with that though, like, just because like you go through a struggle like losing 27 shows, the creative aspect of you, that never goes away.
Right.
You know, so I'm always creating, I'm always writing. So like right now, I don't know if I should I don't know. Anyway, right now I have an opportunity.
Hey, you can do whatever you want.
You do whatever you want.
We don't care.
Okay. Well, I'm working on it, but I have an opportunity to. My producer, he's worked out of Nashville these last couple of years. He's nominated for a Grammy. He's always worked in the Christian music industry. He's done stuff for Toby Mac, all those type of guys, right?
I remember that name.
Yeah. So he got promoted.
Guys in DC Talk.
He got promoted. Now he's in a studio in Tampa, and this is the same studio where Michael Jackson's recorded.
Wow.
Dr. Dre recorded The Chronic in this studio.
Wow.
Look, I don't know if I'm supposed to announce this, but one of the top rappers in the industry is like literally booked a 40-hour block to record there this month. You know what I'm saying? So that's where he's working now, and he's playing with the same tools like that Drake records with. 21 Pilots. So like we're still homies, and he
21 Pilots.
Exactly.
Columbus boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's
using Pro Tools.
Yeah. So, but the mic,
He's using
but here's the
GarageBand.
thing, but the inputs and the microphone he uses, not Pro Tools. Like, that's the thing.
No.
My producer has those same tools now, and he wants to work with me.
That's what's
and
up.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and if this would have been last year, I'd be like, you know, he gave me that bottom line. I was like, all right, you know, let me get on the road, do this grind, and I'll see you in the fall. That's been taken away from me, right? But there's still that desire to create. So up until this point, I've funded everything I do, but I'm really like looking at for this season, since I can't rely on that, I'm looking to rely on this all 10 fans I have out there. So I'm probably going to crowdsource and try to have this new album made. So like a Kickstarter, GoFundMe, something like that, or Patreon, just to make this project happen. Because it's a crazy opportunity, right? You know what I'm saying? So that immediate aspect, that's what I'm working on right now.
So let me ask you this. We have a Venmo that we blast for people that want to support the show. Brandon Martell on Venmo. If you want to support Podbean. We just I just paid you for Podbean.
Yeah.
If you want to support Buckhorn Podcast, you send it there. Is there somewhere we can have folks send you money like that? Do you have a Venmo, PayPal? Like if somebody's just listening at work and says, I'd like to give this
P.O.
guy
box.
$20. Like anything helps. I know what it's like to work as an artist, and I've not even done it full time, so I don't have the pressure. So like I don't know
I've
what it's
done
like to
hard
work at
time.
that level, right? Just like I don't know what it's like to be black. I don't know what it's like to be full time on the road. But how can people, if they just want to donate to you right now, is there any way they can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a PayPal. I have Venmo. I have direct links on my website. My website is iamdamac, DAMAC.com.
We'll put all that in the show notes.
Yeah, I appreciate it. If like Venmo and like PayPal, anything like that, it's just Damac Music. So DAMAC MUZIK. We hip hop it out, you know what I'm saying?
You had to, yeah.
At gmail.com.
Yeah. I mean, heaven forbid you just write music,
like it's
spelled.
supposed to be spelled. Like, who does that?
After you just started talking about your cardigans and stuff.
I mean, it is just one letter off from elevators. Muzak.
Yeah. So people reach out if you can send this guy $5. That's a burger and a fry for him.
Yeah, real talk. Happy meal.
That would,
I'm not even asking for a Big Mac, just a Happy Meal, bro.
I take something. But let's support this guy. Here's the thing about, and I've wanted to have you on the show for a while, and we've talked about it before, and then COVID hit and all this stuff, and you're traveling, and when you're in Ohio, you may only be in Ohio long enough to do your show, sleep, and hit the road. So I get it. But man, I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, man.
Are you ending the show?
I'm not. No, I'm having a good time. I can record for another 3-4 hours if we want.
I mean, we've only been going 2 hours and 45 minutes.
We're almost gone 3 hours?
Yeah.
Quit playing with my emotions.
You killed me, dude. I wish you lived here so you could go on our show. Like, he'd be a good third.
He'd be a good third.
This would be awesome. You got like that deep mellow voice when you get all serious, and then you have all these funny little.
Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh,
2 hours and 40 minutes.
So this will probably be a multiple show thing.
Now I'm going to put it all out at one show.
Do it,
nice.
Joe Rogan style.
I mean,
Drop it.
That's the beauty of this. We're freeform. I mean, it can be. We've done a 35-minute show. We have recorded a 4-hour show, and I've split it into three or four shows.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we can just put it up however we feel like putting it up.
That's fine.
That's
I just
awesome.
want to make sure people, and I'm going to pump this up too, because I want to make sure people know, hopefully they've listened to this point, and they've heard what you're dealing with across the board, because COVID's affected us all in different ways.
Right.
For me, it's made it inconvenient for me to go into a place. That's it. My only inconvenience is if I have to run to Ace Hardware for work, or if I want to go to the grocery store, which I try to avoid grocery stores.
I feel that.
But my work has stayed the same. I'm still playing at church. People weren't at our church for the longest time. We were just live streaming, but I was still going to play, and then I would watch from home the weeks I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
But for me, it hasn't changed that much. For Martell,
it's made it super inconvenient to go into the office, and I am just heartbroken.
He has to walk down the hall.
The commute to work is just terrible.
It is awful. I am burning so much gas.
From your bed to your desk, it's got to be 18 steps
Probably.
down the hall. So, but it's affected him, but not in a bad way.
No, for me, actually, the reality is for in my case, it's been an upside. Like the whole COVID thing has not been a downer for me. It's been positive because my boss he was trying to implement something where it was more of a work from home type of deal. Yeah. He wanted to work from home. He lives just as far from the office as I do. We're about a 40-minute drive.
Wow.
So he lives just as far as I do. He wants to do more work from home. So when this happened, it was like, does anybody have any objections? Like, the question was, does anybody want to come back to the office to work?
Right.
They asked that question across our entire company. 7 people said yes.
Wow. You know what that is? That's 7 people, and this isn't.
That's 7 people that can't deal with their spouses.
It's either 7 people who can't deal with their spouses, or
kids.
Or they live alone, and that may be the only human interaction they get.
But they're not getting that human interaction at the office now either.
It's still
because they moved them. I mean,
maybe they said they can get in one office for them 7 people. That's like the size of this room. And
no, they literally separated. They said, "Oh, you're coming back. You're not going back to your office. You're going to go to this building over here.
Gotcha.
And we're going. There's going to be essentially a cubicle. In
what I was saying though, they're voting that they're voting because they want that.
Yeah.
So not that they got it, but
interesting.
So
I'm just
aside from the gym closing for a bit, your life got better.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I still
the gym closed, but you still worked out at home.
I still clock in at the same time, still clock out at the same time.
No commute.
Now there's no commute. I go out, sit on my deck with a beer or a whiskey, depending on the day, because I only drink on certain days.
All right.
Any day that ends in Y. And then I don't have to take my kids anywhere. Like my mother-in-law comes to pick the kids up.
Wow.
Every other day. So on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, I just have to go pick them up occasionally.
Dude. Wow.
So yeah, your life's gotten better. Mine hasn't.
And
changed.
I don't go anywhere anyway because I don't like people.
Dude,
Yeah.
like, yeah. This
So
is
it's
your
perfect.
year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Martel's like, this is fine. COVID all the way.
What struggle do you speak of?
So we've kind of got three people here. And this is what I've talked about with the races, with everything, with the religion, the church experiences growing up.
Yeah.
We've had three very different experiences with COVID because
Fascinating.
it obviously has drastically affected you.
Yeah.
Me, it's very, very minorly affected. Like if I go to a gas station now, I'm used to maybe going to get like a slushie or a water. But if I don't have to pee, I just don't go inside.
Right.
I stop, I get my gas, I go on.
Right. Yeah.
Hell, I even
That's the
sold
only-
my car.
Yeah, sold your car during COVID.
The gift just keeps on
Oh, yeah,
giving.
look, I wasn't driving it, so I might as well sell it.
You sitting here now like, wow, thanks for bragging, guys.
I'm about to
Glad
start
I'm
selling
here.
some organs, just pay bills. I'm glad you guys are doing good.
Well, I think you can sell a kidney for about $30,000.
Word?
You only need one.
Stop playing with his emotions.
Start playing with my kidneys. Let's do this.
That's weird.
I mean, you're in Circleville. I guarantee you there's somebody here that needs some organ you got. Yeah, but no, it's just funny to see. This is what I've loved talking to people that are fun-loving people like the three of us are. We're just so awesome. Martel is so much fun to be around all the time.
You are, man. You're a good time.
I am a joy. I'm a delight.
Well, here's the thing. Your biggest thing is you get cranky about stuff, but if I just let you go, you're not bad to be around.
No.
You just vent.
Yeah.
But then I vent to you too, so it's like I don't see it as
Well,
a
that's all
bad
this
thing.
show is for. This show's just for me to
To
vent.
vent.
So that I can get out my
you
frustration.
put all the money into all this gear for it, so you do with it what you want.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's just funny to hear the different stories of growing up. Small town. I grew up in Columbus on the west side, and then moved down here in middle school. So I've been I've been back and forth, and then your story's obviously very different than ours. So it's really cool
That's cool.
seeing how everything's going. So, what would be?
Yeah.
What I asked about your best concert, and you talked about those people that were stopping and coming up and getting saved. What's the worst concert you did? Don't have to name a venue or names.
Okay.
But if you could describe,
I wouldn't necessarily say they were being saved. It was pretty dangerous from what I said, from what I heard of them running across the street.
nah, dude. Hey,
I didn't tell that part of the
they
story.
didn't even put the car in park. Jesus took the wheel. they levitated over the crowd
'Cause,
on angels' wings. It's cool.
I mean,
I didn't talk about the casualties. I just told the good story.
And if you want saved right now, we'll pray for you. Send money to Brandon Dash Martel.
Oh man, I definitely have one, man. But it's like, once again, I don't know why. Like, it goes back to the church. You know what I mean? But it had nothing to do with the performance. I can't remember the performance at all.
You must have sucked then. Not that memorable.
Yeah. Well, it was in this, once again, it's in a small town. In this church, their whole thing was, we want young people in our building, because without young people, our church will eventually die. We'll do anything.
Which
And
they
literally-
do want that.
yeah,
Literally.
anything.
They do want that. I went
Yeah.
to a church one time. I was called the second church I was a youth pastor at.
Yeah.
13 members.
Uh-huh.
When my buddy started the pastor there, which was a couple years before I went over, the average age was 63.
Wow.
And they literally paid off building,
Yeah. Sure.
good community around them,
Sure.
but literally they were like, we're it, guys. Nobody knew's coming in. We're down to 13 members. So I get
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And they always say, we want young people here.
Right.
But they're not always willing to let go of.
What I've learned is they want young people, but they want young people that act like 60-year-olds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So remember this. Their line when they booked us was, we want young people filled in our church. Just remember that line, okay? So they rented ramps to get a skate park thing going on in the parking lot. They did this whole outdoor concert
pretty
thing.
cool.
So they rented skate ramps so skaters could come through. They hired the tour. You had a rapper. You had rock bands.
Was this the Treehouse tour? Or?
Yes, Treehouse.
Yes.
Never forget this experience, all right? So
So you got the Treehouse at the
Yeah.
mansion and this on the same tour.
it was an extreme tour for sure. So, but get this, so the parking lot was popping. Youth everywhere, teenagers everywhere, kids everywhere. It's popping.
That's what you want.
was
That was the goal.
That's what they wanted. But they wanted them in the church. They said they want to fill their church, right? Get this. Storm clouds come out of nowhere. Storms. We got to run, get the electronics
Get the
in.
gear, yep.
They say everybody get in the church. Remember this. Everybody get in the church. their church is filled with young people, filled with youth, filled with teens, something they always wanted. So what do? We didn't have time to set up electricity or sound system. Guy grabs a guitar, starts doing worship songs.
Shut up.
I start rapping over strings, just stuff. So we have this cool, intimate, acoustic concert.
Yeah.
We shared Jesus. A powerful night, right? Powerful, right?
Yeah, I mean, sounds. I'm in your story. Yeah,
right. Night's over. We weren't divas or anything. So we said, hey, if you open up the youth room, we'll sleep in the youth room. We brought sleeping bags. We're sleeping that night. They pull aside the person in charge of the tour, the leaders of the church, and they wanted to kick us out of the church in the middle of the night because somebody got a stain on the carpet during the concert. So forget that you had a room full of youth, a building full of youth. We shared the gospel. Forget that we didn't come for money. Forget that we slept in your youth room. You want to kick us out in the middle of the night because there was a stain on the carpet.
Get a carpet cleaner.
Thank you.
That's my cigarette button. My one cigarette button, entire
from the punk rock
7-acre property.
Yeah, and I was just like, that was like, it left such a bad taste in my mouth. They ended up letting us stay there.
Why did
You shouldn't have been trying to
get
a stain off the floor.
Turns out it was really old wrench.
Somebody dropped the wrench. So yeah, they ended up letting us stay for the night, but we had to leave in the morning. But yeah, that's always left a bad taste in my mouth. It's like, what's more important?
Crazy.
To you, you know? So
See,
it's funny. You got the treehouse from the guy in the mansion and got to do your thing.
Yeah,
and he's like, you ain't staying in my mansion, but I'll give you treehouse free reign.
Yeah.
That's almost a more enjoyable experience than sleeping in a youth room and dealing with that. Like, it's sad that...
the odors in the youth room, by the way.
Dude, 10 years as a youth pastor.
Oh, you already know.
Winter retreat, you should have been staying in them dorms.
Yeah.
Dude, when I finally was like leading the camp and got my own room in a different building, I was like, thank you. Yeah. I'm so tired of sleeping. Like, hundreds of teams. But yeah, we did, I shared my one story and you shared yours.
Yeah.
And when I went to that church I was talking about, they had the old wooden pews.
Yeah.
And it was a split level. So you've been to these churches. I know you go in the front door, you either go upstairs or downstairs.
Yep.
There's no lobby, narthex, whatever you want to call it, vestibule. So you go upstairs, and there's 2 rows of pews, center aisle, blah, blah. Well, there was an overflow because, back in the day, you have a revival. You open up the curtains, more pews. Well, that overflow was just packed.
We called it the well.
The well. Nice.
Throw people in the well.
Get down there. Get down there.
Put the lotion on your skin. But the pews were like facing the wrong way. They're just stacked for storage. Because 13 people in this church would hold probably 100, maybe 80, 100. But there's an old futuristic looking thing from the 70s that used to be an organ, I think. Like, just stuff wasn't used. And we were like, hey, if we get rid of these pews, sell them off, that'll bring in income. We get rid of this organ, it's not worth anything, but let's get out. And we can make this like a gathering place. For before after service because there's no narthex.
Right.
And a dude got upset that we want to get rid of pews. Not because they were pews, but because there's nameplates on the end.
Okay.
Right? So you've seen the churches with different, like, dedicated to or memory of.
Yeah.
My old church
and
has one.
He said somebody's family and, parents or whatever paid for that or they paid for it in memory of their parents.
Yeah.
He said, this is in a board meeting. I was on the board at the time. He was like, how would you feel if somebody came in the church and found out that pew had been sold? And I said, how would you feel if you went to the church and looked at every pew being used and found out yours was in storage?
Wow.
And then the pastor at the time finally, in it all, he's like, I'll tell you what, he said, you can find every name on that pew and look at our attendance or our register for the last 10 years. And if you find one name on there, we'll keep them all. And between my question and then what the pastor kind of presented, we said, okay, here's what we'll do. We don't want to just, this church was founded by people. We want to honor them. We took the plaques off, made a plaque, like a big plate, put all of them on there.
Yeah.
Said something about how they were.
That's all they really paid for anyway was the plaque.
Right.
They didn't play. The pew was already there.
The guy, but it's like the stain thing. Like the guy's like, what if somebody comes in and sees their pew in here? I'm like, dude, it's stacked on another one in storage. Like that would upset me.
Right.
Yeah.
But this church, when we took over, there's no kids, no teens.
Yeah.
The basement doors for all the classrooms were swollen shut. And when we busted open the door of the nursery, it was like shag carpet, Raggedy Ann and Andy wallpaper.
Nice.
Like it not been like kids not been that.
Nothing creepy about that at all.
Oh, dude. Well, when I painted the youth room one time, I was staying there till like 9, 10, 11 at night paying and stuff. And I was playing like Joe Dirt on VHS, on the TV cart.
VHS, I love it.
Because I was the only one in the whole church, and it's an old building, and it was a tinier one too. It wasn't massive, but dude, I swore so many times I was hearing things. I was like, all right, well, there's only one way in this room. It's one of those rooms you walk down like a little hall, and then it opens up. And I was like, if I see something coming, I'm just going full speed towards it, because I either run through it or we have it out and that's the end. I was like, if you're here, let's go. But it's so funny to see how different people. I know they say they want it, but people are not willing to. Talking about putting things on pedestals. People say don't worship idols, and so many churches worship the church building itself.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm going, don't sit here and tell me, don't go to church, be the church, or God, it's the body, we are the church,
right?
And then get mad at it staying on a carpet,
right?
That's what I mean,
right? Or cigarette butt in the parking lot.
That's part of my whole argument.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you on that.
And my aunt gives us, my sister and I, so she lives down in Florida, and she gives us so much like crap because I don't go to church. I quit going. God, who knows? 20.
He probably does.
He probably does. If he exists. That's that agnostic stuff. No, but it's probably been like 25 years.
How old are you guys?
I'm 40.
Oh, for real?
I'm 37.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I never really thought about how old you are. I don't judge people based on their age, Damac.
Actually,
like 25 years, man, you're old.
it's probably been.
You should have been like 26. I got mad at people less when I was 1.
Never mind.
Watch it. You've had your moment on the show. Next week we can say all we want.
I know. No, it's probably been 25 years. Okay. I mean, it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I graduated like 22 years ago. Yeah, so it's been quite a while. Because of nonsense like that,
right.
like that. Yeah. There's no place for that type of stuff, and so like my aunt she is every Sunday. Boom. Even before my grandmother passed away, before she became bedridden, she was trying to get to church every day, and she would, but she would never said anything to like me or my sister. Mm-hmm. And then at one point, I had made a comment to her about after my dad had passed away, and told her she could stick things where suns don't shine.
Gotcha.
When it came to religion,
None of her sons.
No, well, she only had one. But like, my aunt will go, you two really need to find a church. And I'm like, no, we don't. Like my sister response was, she's like, you don't have to go to church to be spiritual or religious. And I'm like, yeah, like you don't have to go to church to read a Bible. You don't have to go to church to do any of this stuff. And Sarah's response was, well, you don't even. And I'm like, stop. We don't.
Calm down, Sarah.
This road doesn't need to go down this path because I ain't in the mood. So,
and I, there's part of me that I agree with that. You don't have to go to a building, to be saved. I mean, there are times you may not step in an actual quote unquote church for a while, but you're still having these little services. These little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing I don't like about churches.
What?
The buildings. I like architecture. I like a church. I like church, steeple, building, pews, blah, blah, blah. If I'm going into a church, I want to see a church.
Well, you ain't going, so shut up.
Right. Well, occasionally I do have to go to one. But like the old Gothic cathedrals that are in Pennsylvania, like in Pittsburgh, are astounding. They're amazing.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
These mega churches that are basically putting up pole barns, like oversized pole barns.
Well, I was going to say you don't get that cathedral without the mega church kind of money.
Well, no, you do, because that cathedral was built in 1850.
That's probably someone built before that
or before. I mean, they have the stone marker in the wall. Usually, actually, that's how you get those. The mega churches are Joel, who is preying on the weak and elderly, asking for money.
Yeah. praying on them instead of praying for them.
Joel Dongstein.
Oh, that'll preach.
That's heavy.
You
that's
use
a
that
song
lyric?
idea, right? That's a song.
Hey, all I need is a credit. I don't need money.
Yeah.
Just be like one of those in parentheses, like it's your song.
Yeah.
With, like co-written by Randy Nelson.
Yeah.
Even
Except
though I give you that line.
you just gave him like 2 words.
It doesn't matter. That's
Like
enough to claim credit.
co-written.
Wow. Praying on
I'll check it out on your IMDb.
I actually have one.
Nice.
I didn't make it. I didn't know it until somebody else found it and told me. But for being on Fat Guys in the Woods,
That's
I have an IMDb.
What's that?
I was on a survival reality show called Fat Guys in the Woods.
What?
I can show you a little bit after we get done here.
Yes. Let's wrap this up so I can see this. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, but
We're
man,
at 3 hours anyway.
No, I forgot.
Wow.
No, I forgot what I was going to say about the churches.
I don't even
saying
remember what you said with the 2
Oh, you're talking about how you like it, and to me, I get that too because I came from a traditional church, and then we built it wasn't a pole barn, but we built a more modern building.
Okay.
They were called multi-purpose buildings.
Yeah.
Around 2000, but I missed some of our church I grew up in was a brick church, had a steeple, had a bell, had pews, and I missed a lot of that. But at the new building, again, if I'm not going to worship the building and worry about carpet stains, I can't say, well, if it's a church, I want it to look like this, me personally.
Right.
But that being said, like the church we go to now is a bigger church. It's not a mega church. It's very community and very family oriented. They want to see you get plugged in with people. It's not about how much money we can make.
Right.
Then the other church one of the churches I love is Church on Como in Columbus. It's my Uncle Tim's church. They started in a strip mall. Somebody said, hey, I've got an empty building. Yeah. You guys can use it. They started a recovery program, getting people out of prison, off drugs, getting them jobs. So they
hangovers.
Yeah, more than a hangover.
Awesome.
Like hard narcotics. And, actually, some of my friends have gotten into hard narcotics and heavy drugs are clean 7-8 years now because of this program.
That's
so
amazing.
like guys I grew up with and I saw really run away. But they bought one of these old churches. I think it was built in like 1950, and it had like a drop ceiling. They removed it and found all the original beams still there and everything. So they left it open, and it's got like that old traditional look. And when me and Derek play there, like
It sounds
you'll walk out there,
whole lot better.
people will be. Well, it's not even that because quality wise, like our church sounds phenomenal. Like we've had national artists play at our church. It sounds
Yeah,
great.
but this is an
that's
acoustics
awesome.
things versus a.
Yeah, but what's cool about that one is like I need to get you there because we go there. You'll walk in and there'll be 3-4 people on the front stoop smoking cigarettes. They'll put them out right before service. Like
Dude,
it's just
awesome.
because in the program they're like, don't stop smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
We're trying to get you off like crack or heroin. Smoke your cigarettes, like seriously, because that's what a lot of it leads people back. But with that cigarette, they can work on the harder stuff.
Oh wow, that's powerful.
But I didn't know.
I didn't know
this.
that. I didn't know that.
But you go in there though, but those people that are genuinely seeking and searching and wanting to know God. So when we go up there and played worship, dude, it's like it could be 30 people, but it's like I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah,
I
man.
love playing there because those people do not judge because they've been down to the dumps, the bottoms of their life, and they've got a second chance. So like you walk in, they just love on you, and it's just like it's one of the coolest experiences. But it's this little tiny church with no parking lot.
Wow.
It's only on the street. It's surrounded by houses. Like it's the coolest little church. But yeah, I do. I like a lot of the traditional stuff too, and I love the old cathedrals that look like
I like the
castles.
old. But the only reason those guys are loving it is because they're on Molly.
That's fine. That's fine. But
Oh, your beard is so soft. I can't get enough.
we put LSD in the coffee, so love it there. Love it there. Yeah,
All
but
right.
no, that's cool.
All right, we've been at this for 3 hours. We just rolled over 3 hours, so
Wow.
we should probably wrap it up.
Probably should.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go another 3 hours.
What's been your longest episode?
This
Oh, okay.
the one with Jimmy might have been.
Well, that one I broke up, though.
Yeah, we split it up.
I split it up. I think the one with Mo and Jason was probably one of our longest episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a long one.
It was like 2.5 hours.
That's because Jason's in Arizona and Mo's in Dayton. It took a long time to get information here.
Yeah. That was a fun one.
I see what you did there.
Dumb jokes, just like my dumb memes.
I love
That's
your
why
memes personally.
everybody loves me.
I think that's it.
All I gotta do- hey, Can you freestyle or give us a verse right now? You want to do that?
A verse?
Or you just want me to pick up my phone and play something for Spotify?
Yeah, be like, this is not going to rabbit. It's full production.
Let's see. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of writing recently, and so
Whatever you want, man.
this one. Let's see if I get it right. It's kind of long. Right. Okay. All right. So it goes. I remember the word became flesh. Christ Messiah descended. As the story go, plenty of people offended. As the story go, Christ in the synagogue stood before the people and gave them this monologue. The Spirit of God is in me. My words are anointed. I bring good news. I'm here for the poor, oppressed, the abused. You're now set free by the King of the Jews. Yeah, hold up. I got another one. He was sitting with tax collectors, eating with the sinners, crossed the line. Pharisees were offended, but Christ divine came to preach. Listen in to the words that I teach. Listen in this time that I speak. I'm here for the weak. I'm here for the lost because the pain is deep. And the Bible say, yeah, the word of God. He spat on the ground, proceeded to make mud with it. The blind man wiped it from his eyes. Praise God, he can now see the sunshine. Who checks in at the clinic? Who goes to the ER? We are losing focus and losing it quick. Who needs doctors to help the sick? And it goes, the second verse was, sorry, this is new stuff. So
it's good.
That was the first
Dude,
verse.
that last couple bars there was,
all right, so
it got me.
That's the first verse. And then the second verse goes, since I have a moment, I'm going to take it. I'm a sinner and I'm sacred. Rap tight, rep my king on the verse. Dang it. See, this is how new it is.
That's all right.
Let me run that one more time. Can I run it back one more time? Okay, so second verse goes, since I have a moment, I'm going to take it. I'm a sinner and I'm sacred. Rap tight, rep my king on the verse. Yes, dang it. What is it?
It ended the same.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Christian. Okay, all right, I got it. All right, last time.
All
right.
Since I have a moment, I'm going to take it. I'm a sinner and I'm sacred. Rap tight, rep my king on the verse. Above all things, I'm a Christian first. Yeah. Disclaimer over, but our pain ain't over. We've been sold and bought it. We've been raped and, dang it, I messed it up. Oh man, I'm sorry guys.
No, it's good.
So new.
I'm actually, I kind of like that you messed up and we're going to leave it like this.
Okay. Yeah.
Because here's the reason. When we screw up reading, we've, like I said early, one of the things people said they like about us is we're just real.
Yeah.
They feel like they're sitting on the porch with a couple buddies, hanging out, having a beer, whatever they do. But this is what I like. I like real.
Just the realness.
You're working through this song right now. Now I'm more excited to hear it. I don't want you to finish it.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
don't finish
the song is finished. I just don't have it memorized yet.
I'm kind of anxious to hear it when it's all like produced. So
that's one of the new songs I want to record though, but it is finished. I just haven't memorized it apparently.
But that's part of being an artist too.
Dropped
right?
the ball there.
Well, here's another thing. People, when I'm working on something, when I tell Beth, I'll build you this, or I'll fix this, or I'll do this, and people are watching over me and going, well, why'd you do that? Why didn't you do it this way? I'm like, chill. Well, what'd you do that? Chill. Like, I've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Chill.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Bob Ross, right? You watch Bob Ross, he's painting, he's throwing these collars on the canvas. You're like, oh, what's he doing?
Yeah.
But by the end, it's not anything any of us saw except him. So I kind of like that. It's very real and raw because you're showing where you're at in the process.
Yeah.
So, no, I like that you messed up like 2 or 3 times.
Doesn't matter that I suck. Let's just go with that part. Let's go with Randy's perspective.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is I'm not going to say, oh, well, he messed up because he forgot the lines. I'm saying you literally are going, I'm in the process. I just wrote this. It's new. I'm saying I get it. Because I've had people like, what are you doing? I know you've done it too. I mean, it can be with computer work. If you're saying I'm going to fix this problem.
Oh, yeah.
And 5-10 minutes later, somebody goes, what are you doing? Where are you doing it? Well, here's where I'm at.
Well, it's going to take me 2.5 days to fix it.
Yeah, it's like, chill.
And I only really need the half day to fix it. The other 2 days to make you think I'm working on it.
That's to get that extra income.
Right. But, yeah, it's just, there's always a process, right?
Yeah.
There's always like in a painting. This is a painting, and I had a buddy made these for me.
Oh, wow.
He retired, moved to Florida, said, hey, I've been trying to this stuff. I said, can you make me some? He's like, hey, I have 2 sets. And he's like, I don't like the ones. And he sent them to me anyway. I said, send them anyway. I don't care. I want them.
Yeah.
And I love them.
That's
and
awesome.
He showed them to me when they're half done. I've got a couple paintings of his back there I need to hang. But he's like, man, I don't like this. And I said, well, keep doing it when you get it finished. Let me see. And he got done. He's like, I don't like how it turned out. And I was like, I love it.
That's that self-critical
it is.
artist.
And
stuff.
I also, like, when he shows me stuff in process, I go, okay, what do you, like, I'm anxious. I don't say nothing because where most people, there's a whole thread of people who, for a graphic designer, made a website years ago. It was clients from hell. And people be like, I want this, and he'd design it for him, and they'd be like, no, I want this, and he'd be like, he'd wait a day or two and send back the same version and be like, perfect. But like people would always be like, we're getting the process, and while he's working, people would try to critique his work.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait till you're done. Like, you know, so no, I'll wait till I'm done to tell you if that song sucks.
Okay. I appreciate
I'll wait till
it.
I hear it and be like, yeah, you were right, that's garbage. Yeah, no, I'm glad you came.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you stopped by.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome.
You heading out of town now?
No, I'm actually going to be here. Thanks to COVID, like stuff's so spaced out. My next show is until Friday, but it's in South Point, Ohio. You know, the hip hop capital nation. So I'll be hanging out in Portsmouth all week. You know,
you're going to Portsmouth all week.
Yeah, I'll be in Portsmouth all week.
You'd have been better staying around Columbus all week. Fred's Pizza in Portsmouth's pretty good. That's about all I know.
Okay,
I was gonna say I've only been to Portsmouth once, and it was a brewery that I went to.
Oh, okay.
There's the
they had
murals.
fantastic food.
Oh, right on.
So, but I can't remember what the name of the brewery was.
Okay.
Go to the river.
Man, I've been wanting to go there. I hear it's amazing.
Check out the Walmart.
No, avoid Portsmouth
Go
Walmart.
to McDonald's.
Avoid Portsmouth Walmart.
Oh yeah, it goes down.
It's just small town Ohio Walmart.
Actually, that's where
I used to put on my pajama pants and go to the Logan Walmart to feel good about myself.
that's
Like, no joke. I'd walk in there in a cutoff T-shirt and brown flip-flops and, like, blue
socks.
sweatpants. And I'd walk in and be like, I'm dressed pretty well today. I could have stains on my shirt and look good at that Walmart.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
Portsmouth is where somebody that we Dale with PSKC
oh, yeah.
and Doc Spartan.
Yep.
Wow.
They're out of Portsmouth.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's a veteran-owned company, and
Okay.
he makes it started as just a hand ointment for like rips, so when doing pull-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he's moved into
Bam, there's I just pulled some out of my drawer.
yeah.
Oh, awesome.
It's moved in. He's got deodorant and everything else,
Yeah.
like other soaps and other pieces. And it's
Oh,
all
that's
used
awesome.
to,
You put that on dry skin, on cuts, on
Really?
tattoos.
yeah,
what's
it works
with-
really well.
But yeah, veteran
It works
company.
really well.
So yeah,
That's
he's,
cool.
he's from Portsmouth. There's the murals at Portsmouth.
I've seen those.
I've
Very
walked
nice.
by those.
Very nice.
I was
I've driven by.
slightly
I've
intoxicated.
driven by them.
I rode by him. Actually, I wasn't even driving, but I was like, "Oh, those are pretty cool." We drove slowly, but
Yeah.
once you've seen them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Once you've
it's
seen
like
one
some
painting,
things
you've seen them all.
capture me. Some art captures me, and some like that's done well.
Yeah.
but it doesn't like draw
Yeah.
me in.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool. So where you staying? You got a place to stay down there then?
Yeah,
Put you up?
actually, some good folks that have been supporting me for a long time. That I
Yeah.
met at Winter Retreat 7
Really?
years ago. Yeah, they're from New Boston, Naz.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Aaron Williams. Can I say their name?
You can
I
say
don't-
whatever you
okay.
want.
Say,
Shout out to Aaron Williams,
I would
Jenny
say you
Williams.
can do whatever you want on here. We don't restrict
Yeah,
people.
they're like you said, like blood doesn't mean family. They're definitely not my blood, but they're definitely my family.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
and
So
they
that's where
look
you're
nothing like
heading
me.
What do you mean? I do not understand what you were saying.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm a black man.
What? And you like the Lakers? Shocker, a black guy likes the Lakers.
And you rap?
I bet you're a Raiders fan too, aren't you?
Dude, don't tell them everything about me.
Sharing all your secrets. Getting real personal now. After all we talked about, like, oh, calm down.
You guys are awesome, man.
All right, let's shut this down.
Yep.
Definitely check out Damac. Facebook, Instagram,
Uh-huh.
Twitter.
Yep.
All right.
Spotify.
Yep.
Spotify.
iTunes.
Definitely on
Yep.
Spotify.
Yep. All Damac music. Just DAMAC space MUZIK.
All right. You'll be in, well, by the time this comes out.
You'll be long.
You'll be long gone. So you'll be in South Point, but it don't matter. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Insta, Google, Tweetstagram.
If you want to support the show, Brandon-Martel on Venmo. If you want to,
You know what? On this episode, screw the show. Support the Mac.
yeah, support the Mac. So anything
Man,
you guys
here, man.
They don't send us anything.
they don't send us anything anyway. But any funds that are sent to Brandon-Martel, we are going to forward on to Damac.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's a good idea. If you want to for this show, just let us know it's forward to Mac. We'll make sure it gets to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's help a guy who's been affected by this crap. A guy with a good heart.
Yeah.
A guy that honestly, it ain't even about a Christian or non-Christian, black or white or anything. He just loves people. So Let's try and help him out.
I miss black and white TV.
We had that little
I thought you were
small
about to say, I
one.
miss black and white people. Like, we're literally sitting here now, dude. You got a black guy and a white guy right in front of you.
Remember Leave It to Beaver? And
I mean, I'm Cherokee, but I guess I'm white. That's been a running joke on the show.
Oh, okay, right on.
I said I was a POC because I'm part Cherokee. I was like, I get tan in the summer, but then I lifted my sleeve and it's like,
it's because you wear sleeves.
yeah, I know.
Anyway, for the Mac, I'm Martel. He's Randy. And we're out.
Peace.